Session 4. We did it. We made it to session 4. We're alive. We didn't crash on a ship from the last game, and we also managed to, enjoy ourselves in some ways, I guess. I mean, welcome back, everybody. We are missing Dion. He will be out. Maybe we'll see him later. Maybe. But, life calls, and we must answer. Before we begin our session, is there anything that you guys need from me, or is there anything that you would like to get off your chest? Is this is the moment, to let me know your grievances, and you only get 5 minutes technically.
I killed the man. Okay.
Okay.
I wasn't born on a leap year.
Okay.
I know.
You're not 4 years old.
I know.
Oh man, it all comes out.
I don't think we could be friends after this.
Really?
Yeah, that's a deal breaker.
I didn't mean it. I was joking. I was joking. I got you.
Prove it.
I
Let me
don't
see
do
your
that things
birth
like
certificate. Let
that.
me see your
Huh?
birth certificate.
It hurts even more knowing that.
Didn't you know he's an orphan?
What? I did.
Bro, the plot line's crazy.
It's getting deeper. Are we playing D&D now?
I made him an orphan.
Okay. Roll for it.
Oh, you
roll.
killed
Roll.
his family?
Imagine having to roll that stat in the beginning of the game. It's like, all right, roll to see if you have parents.
Roll for
orphan.
It's a D100 roll, and you have to roll higher than 50%.
Okay, I'm gonna roll. Oh, I'm an orphan. Damn it.
That's probably the wrong statistic of a 50% chance of being an orphan or not, but
It would be a 1d3. This is how many parents I have.
1d3 parents. Wait.
So 1 is 0, 2 is 1, 3 is both.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
What? I have both.
Okay. Both your parents are out there, but you are an orphan.
No, they died. That's why I'm an orphan.
Oh, okay. You have to roll for their death, actually, too.
All right, 1d2. Gruesome is 1, non-gruesome is 2.
Just,
Ah, they died a gruesome death.
flip a coin. 1d2 is just a coin, guys, FYI, if you didn't know that. The original dice was just a coin. Either way.
I need a 1d1. Hold on.
I can't wait to find out what that is.
Got a 1.
No way. Natural 1.
My luck.
Yep. If there's nothing else, we can go ahead and begin. All of you have left the headquarters guild hall for the augurs in kind of a, what's it called? Erratic state. Each of you kind of being pursued into by reporters or what looks to be like different members of the Society of Oracle, just kind of peering into your individualities. Idris, you've been given some thing to hold on to and make your escape with. However, there are still reparations left behind in Oracle in order for you to even consider taking someone along with you in that case. You've met so many friends along the way that it's hard to just drop things and move. However, in the state that you guys are in, you see Carnelian, he has a note that flies in the air. He kind of like reaches up and grabs it without looking, pulling it to his face and opens it and starts reading it. You see, you all can make an insight check.
Let's go for
9.
11.
Oh.
Hard to read so far.
He's just so cool and like emotional.
18.
18.
I just can't read.
17.
Oh, okay, they can read.
You too. Carnelian's a very mysterious figure still to most of you. Just as far as the that message in the chat just threw me off. Holy shit. Because Carnelian's just a mysterious figure, the different eyebrow raises and the wording and the reading, you can tell that he's getting some type of message, like he's reading like through something important. He kind of like looks through it, closes the scroll, doesn't send it back, and just kind of like it just poofs away. Looks over to the rest of you. He's like, I gotta go settle things with Volcom. I'll meet back out with you guys near the front.
Screws would not.
Very
We'll
well.
see you then.
We'll see you soon, I suppose.
Just
God bless
nods,
him.
starts walking away. Like nothing else. He didn't need everybody's acknowledgement. Just completely starts
How many
dispersing the
blessings do
scene.
you have?
I meant guidance. That's infinite.
Just
Because like I was like, geez, you're like holy. Can you tell me more about your religion?
I mean, it's on the pamphlet, but I'd love to talk about it. There's just so much to tell, and then it's about reincarnation.
Huh.
Death doesn't have to be the end. It can be a new beginning, and that's what I believe in.
Interesting. And is there like a deity that you follow? Or is it
Yeah.
just what's their name?
Oros.
Oros. How do you spell aura?
OROS.
Interesting. Then when did you start believing in them?
A couple hundred years ago.
Oh, wait. How old are you?
Over 300.
Wow.
Might I say, you have aged beautifully.
You are so fucking hot for your age.
Yes,
my.
Thank.
so literally.
I take
What
I
is
take-
your skincare routine?
I take pride in how I look. I want to be a face of a nation.
I see that.
Well, you certainly are saving face. You're serving.
You're serving.
I don't know what that means, but I hope it's good.
You're quote unquote slaying.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't like killing people though.
We're gonna confuse him.
I want to save people, not
okay.
kill them.
No,
But
you.
like,
I would say
sorry.
you could be a model.
I don't know. That's never thought about it, but thank you. You guys could be models too.
Oh my gosh. I know, but I appreciate
Okay.
the hearing from you.
There's a bit of maybe like 60 feet away. There's kind of like a gathering of individual people who are looking around and questioning you before, who are kind of like slowly moving towards your direction. You guys are kind of in the middle of the central borough. If you guys want to move to a more private place, you guys know some places you can go. However, whatever ordeals or things you need to complete before what you decide to do next, you may do so. But you are seeing that you're not really private in this moment. You guys are now starting to feel that perception passively of like people are now listening to what you are saying.
Let's head over to me and Vilu's place because I still kind of feel like shit and I wanted to like close my eyes for a bit on my bed before. And I also think we have some serious things to discuss.
Honestly, the faster we get out of here, the better. So.
I agree. I'm tired of being in the city.
If we can make the trip, maybe I don't know, 5 minutes.
Well, Carnelian is not here, for one, so we don't know unless we want to leave without Carnelian. But Carnelian is kind of relatively powerful, so wherever we're going, we should probably have them with us.
He knows the most about what we're dealing with.
Yeah. So, and I also feel as though we're in a rush. A way too fast rush without really getting a grasp for what we're even going to do, because we're going to leave and then what. So we need to discuss that as well, and we also need to figure out what supplies we want. Oh, by the way, they're coming, so I'm just
Father
going to start
Cruz,
walking.
I was just about to say,
Yeah.
Father Cruz, you feel kind of like a presence like approaching from behind quickly, and you see a pamphlet kind of like reach over to your shoulder, like kind of like from below, like there's like a child, like a human child just kind of holds up like a pamphlet to you, and just like there's a smile on the face and just holds it up to you.
Do you want me to take this?
Do you see that there's like a parent in the distance kind of like smiling over, like kind of like waves over and like makes this signature, like make an intelligence check.
Oh. Oh god,
Let me know.
14.
14. They want you to sign it.
Well, I don't mind if I do. Then I'll sign it.
Yeah, you just like reach over. You see like a child like kind of like waiting anticipatingly, and as soon as you finish your signature, you see the parents over is also like staring with their pamphlets, like kind of like looking up, looking down at the kid, and the kid like rushes back over to the parents after you sign. Parents take it immediately out of their hands and kind of like look at it, and they kind of like look over. You see another person like try to grab it out of their hands, like holding it away, and there's like maybe like 2 or 3 other people now kind of rushing over to them to stare at the signature.
Chris would start to wave them off, and then you just kind of run away.
They just there was a group of like people conglomerating for that. If
So
you
we're heading
guys,
back to
you guys head back over to the apartment area that you guys live in. Not a far walk. You do have some moments of passing between things, going back and forth. Velu, make a perception check. I'd also say Mimosa as well.
Perception?
Yes, please.
Velu's dead.
Okay.
Velu fell asleep as soon as I started. He said, I'm laying down. He's gone. I'm just kidding. He's fine. Falls to the ground.
23.
I was not asleep. I'm just muted.
I'm just messing
Zach, I
around.
can still hear his voice.
So you said 23
Yeah.
and then 17, right?
Huh?
You said
19.
17. 19, sorry. For your 19 roll, Velu, you guys are moving rather swiftly to where your living area is. So Ymir kind of leading that charge, just kind of getting past all the people. In your passing, Ymir, you see like the Dreaded Tavern, you see table masters in the front, but your focus is just primarily on getting everybody to the next point. Mimosa and Velu, you look over at the Table Masters Tavern. You specifically, Velu, you see Merrick walking into the Table Masters Tavern. Merrick is the halfling that was working in Dread and Dead with you guys. Mimosa, you see that one like dark dwarf from before, also kind of walking into the Table Masters Tavern as well. Not at the same time, but separately, just as like they're kind of walking over to that area. You two make notice of this, and in your perceptive range, Velu specifically, you see that there are very ordained knights kind of like walking through the Uvito district and walking over towards the guild hall. In the kind of like maybe like 6 or 7 like silvered full plate armor, like very regal knights, have like these blue like hexagonal like what's it called, like magical runes all over them. And then at the front is like a white leonin that's like leading them over to like a direction towards where the Augur's Hall is and everything like that. There's just a big group of list like enforcement or something like that that's going through and going over to the hall. You two take notice of these environmental things as everybody else kind of follows Ymir over to the living quarters. You guys do arrive though at this place.
Ymir's gonna head inside first.
Yeah, you head inside. Door. Everything seems secure.
He starts like taking off his earrings and other accessories, heading into his room. He seems as though he's in a rush. You guys make yourself at home. I mean, you've been here enough.
Belu is going to rush into his room and close the door.
Mm-hmm. Door shuts. Boom.
He's gonna kind of like panic silently. But he's gonna try to calm himself down by reading some books that he has in his room.
Yeah, you have a couple in there. The books you gather and pick up are all like of different natures and histories, and as you kind of flip through it, you keep running page to page, but as you go you look over to the corner and you see like one of the like swords that you have on display in your room. And some of them are just reminders to you, so it's hard to keep like that mind off of it. You can't help but like close the book and get back to focusing on why you're here, but it's hard to focus on like reading and distracting yourself. Idris, can you... This isn't a perception check, but I would like you to roll a d20 using your perception skill for me.
Sure. A 7.
A 7. Not it. It's not a perception skill because you're not taking notice of something like in the distance or something that's happening. It's you're trying to take notice of something that may have already happened. So you feel like a brush of forgetfulness in this moment, and you're just like, oh man, I feel like I should do something, but it tip of your tongue loses it.
So Idris, what brought you here?
Here, like Oracle. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Ah, well, my brother really. I got a letter from him. Not really. Yeah, really a letter. Cryptic as ever. Stated, "I'm alive," and I was like, well, it's weird. So, I departed from one of my traveling companions, and here I am. I haven't heard from him in years, so this was a coincidence to really meet everybody, but, I could have sent you. What are you here for?
Well, I was here on a missionary trip, and my son wanted to tag along.
How did you two meet, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, I adopted him a few years ago.
Really?
More than a few years ago. Our idea of time is not the best.
It does feel like only a few years for Father Cruz, though.
Were you like a baby?
No.
Did you hatch out of an egg? Ymir calls from the other room.
I mean, yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Were you a child? Adolescent, maybe?
I was a child.
You two are
I
very
still remember that
mysterious.
day.
I do too.
Ymir's packing, grabbing his letter and looking at the money that he's collected over the time that he's been here.
Mm-hmm.
How much money has he collected over the time he's been here?
How much money do you have in your gold right now?
Well, I put everything in there.
Mm-hmm.
Right now I have 51 gold that I collected.
You're right. I would say additionally, just based upon like you've only been here for a few months. Having gold in general is a big feature, just as far as like the jobs that are available around here. Most of the time when you're getting paid, it gets like split off, and you don't get like even the full portions of what you're even worth most of the time. So having your 51 gold here, especially in the first few months, is actually a lot comparatively to what you are making or opportune to make anywhere else. So I would say additionally within here, you probably have converted a lot of that gold to platinum. You have two platinum. That's like basically like resting at the bottom of this jar, like covered over the gold that you already have in your possession. Yeah. But it's all been converted at this point, and everything you have is what you have. And you also coming here in expectation, you not necessarily sure of how much you really need to save, but you also know that from what the expenses here in Oracle are, that you're nowhere close to moving on. But you've actually made the most amount of money within the last day than you have for the last 6 months.
Okay. You guys will hear like a banging from inside Ymir's room before he just out of frustration. And then he'll start working on grabbing all of his chem sets. Okay, so does anybody have an idea of where we even want to go with this book?
Oh, right. I got a map. Cruz will like take it out of his pocket. I took
Mhm.
this from the captain's quarter when the ship was going down.
Yeah, you open up the map. You're taking the one that's, I'm assuming, the world map, right?
Hold on. Yeah.
Okay.
Belu hears a map, and he immediately composes himself, rushes out, and stands right next to Father
Mhm.
Cruz.
Yeah.
You got a map?
I've shared with you all the map.
I do.
Basically, what is depicted for an audience is a portion of our world where basically the only East Continent really shows, but there are certain like circles and dashes that go across for like travel routes on the map. And there's Oracle, Halavar, and Arlucia, which are two of the main kingdoms of the Eastern Continent. Sorry, Western Continent. I'm on the wrong side. Also in the top left corner, there's like a symbol of what was the same symbol defined on the back of the neck of that one criminal, and also the same symbology that's been described to you guys multiple times for Xenophane. There's also an additional path that you guys now have to take a look at that goes down, and it just says RT on it. It's a very like generic map. Doesn't even have like, you know, terrain or anything like that. It looks like this was like a sketch drawing of like the flight travel plan. Not very specific in detail, more than it was just a strategy. Looks like this one wasn't complete.
We should go to Halavar.
I'm from Halavar.
We should go there.
That sounds like a good.
Wasn't that where they were going originally? Ymir comes out of his room. He's like relatively packed up. He doesn't have much to carry.
I'm not sure. It looks like a
Um,
straight path. Can we like tell which way the ship was like facing when I was trying to leave?
Make a nature check.
Nature.
I totally had a chip in my mouth. I'm so sorry.
18.
Nom,
18. Yeah, it was facing towards Halavar. So you were up in the skyship strands. When you go towards it, the northern side of the skyship strands is where the elevator entrance is. So if you walked out of the entrance and went the opposite direction, you would have been facing west. So it would have been going towards Halavar, where the ship was. If it was taking off and going that direction, you will only assume yes, because it was, the strands are like placed like a compass almost in the sky. So wherever the ships were is their destinations, basically.
You're right, Belu. I'm pretty sure they were heading to Halavar.
oh, I mentioned them heading to, but yeah, we should.
I'm
totally-
stupid. Leave me alone.
We should
No.
go.
Yeah, I'm so down. Do you think we could like possibly grab supplies before we leave, using our newfound fame?
I think
I
we
don't want
could
that.
help. I think we could get some donations. We did good deeds and we're helping people. We're going to continue to help people.
You see
I don't
Ymir
want
make
to
like a
interact with the locals anymore.
little disgusted face.
I will ask.
Okay, I have you can totally do that. I have a personal list of things that I want to hit before I leave. And yeah, you can totally
What do you
like
mean hit?
What do you need?
just works it. Well, I've been here for quite a while, you know, and
Quite a while.
quite a while, not as long as
Really?
you have.
Mm.
So I just note things as I walk around the place, and there's certain stores that have really nice items that I would love to have myself. That's all.
So you're gonna pay for them, right?
So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go check those out, see if I
Cruz
have.
is going to put a hand on his shoulder. Hey,
Oh my god.
stealing is wrong. These people worked really hard for what they did.
Mm-hmm,
He'll give you. He'll give you mere 20 gold.
I don't want your money.
But they want money. You have to pay for it.
Father's right. Stealing's wrong.
Uh-huh. Well, I don't want your money. I have my own money. If it's cheap, I'll buy it. If it's not, I steal.
It's not what I was trying to go for, but
No,
we'll
I
work
know.
from there.
So we're gonna go to
Everybody-
Halavar, and then this book, right? Do we even... Are we just, like, targets now? Hold on, somebody's calling me.
I can't.
As Ymir mentions the book, Idris, you reach over to where you stash the book and you feel something else.
Okay.
Where did you
Can
stash?
I
Hold
pull
on. First off, where did you stash the book? Because that was
I shoved it in my bag.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you definitely would feel something different as you feel basically another like type of leathery thing that's kind of like next to it inside of your own bag. But you do feel the book and pull the book out.
You mean this, of course.
Mm-hmm. And that's the volume that you're holding on to, and Laurent told you to keep.
Well, they were clearly trying to smuggle this book, but I don't think they would have had an entire airship for one book.
Idris is going to hold on to it super productively, like bear hugging it to her. Well, you never know, but my brother's super smart. He's poured his life work into his 4 volumes, and this third one must have been particularly important. Not that I really know why, but I haven't had the chance to really look at it since, we've left, and now we have fangirls and fanboys, and normally I'm used to a crowd, but really, I'm not really used to a crowd when my brother says run, and here we are. So
I don't like crowds to begin with.
you don't.
No.
I think
Sorry,
this
I
town
spaced
is...
out for a bit. What were we talking about?
The book.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you guys haven't even opened this book. Like you have no clue what secrets Laurent hides in here. He only made mention previously like he had like certain cures and stuff like that in this book.
I'd love to have a moment to actually read it, but I might have to warn you guys, it's not uncommon.
You read it out loud?
Yeah, can you read it out loud?
I can.
You guys could do that. I'm gonna go. And I'll be back later.
Ymir, are you keeping your things with you when you go, or are you going to leave it here with the rest of the group?
The stuff that I packed, I'll leave here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be back later.
Okay.
And I go with Bongo.
Yeah, Bongo's like, he goes from the shoulder, kind of like down to dangling, kind of on your hip side, kind of like its own purse pouch, and you can see like the eyes of a familiar who knows exactly what your entailed plan and strategy is, and he's just kind of like doing that weird like pull up on your hip up and down multiple times, just like excitedly. Ymir, you kind of like put a hand down, pet onto the head, and your Bongo coos a bit, and you make for the door and leave. I will go ahead and I'll keep on with what's going on to here, but we'll move over to Ymir's story in a second.
All good.
Door closes. The rest of you are left. Velo, you still staring at this map?
Yeah. I already said where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
Idris, you should read. The book.
Idris takes a look around as if there'd be any kind of spyware, and she goes,
Make a perception check, sure. Sure. the paranoia sets.
15.
15. You know that there are 4 rooms here in this quad. Only 2 of the rooms are taken by Velu and Ymir. You don't know if there's people in the opposite rooms who are like behind their doors that could be listening, but you don't hear anything.
Before we open this and read it, can you lock that door?
Can I what?
Lock the door.
What door? There's 3 doors.
The door that
Actually,
leads
there's like 5 doors.
the door that leads into the apartment. Can you
Sure.
lock that door?
Velu walks and locks the door.
Putting a hand up like an arcane sigil on the left side, the same way that you would like enact a counter rune spell. It's the same way that you would lock the door here, and you see that your dark magic kind of like glows for a moment, and the door kind of enframes itself in a locking arcane lock already programmed with the building. So it just sets with your ID, like your identification of magic, and that you see the whole door is surrounded in this frame of black, like not fire, but like shadowy, like lock.
Thank you. The only reason I'm asking you this is mostly because there might have been somebody who followed us. I'm not sure. I don't want to assume, but it's better safe than sorry. All right, let's open this book up.
Yep.
She slams open the book.
You open it up. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to this is a whole volume. So you there's multiple. We're talking like maybe 200, 300 pages. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have you make an investigation check. And based on that, yeah, 3-hour session of me reading would be really funny. But
Can I guidance?
you can. I think the guidance ends though for Carnelian if you do so though, because you're recasting it.
I mean, it's a cantrip, but sure. Who cares about Carnelian? I already forgot about him.
As he's doing like the most important check in the world, it just fades. There's in the distance somewhere. There's some horrible failure that's going on for him in the background.
Okay, so I got a 14. Do I roll something else with that with guidance?
1d4.
1d4. Thank you. $15.
15. Okay. I want you to choose. You can either choose what his latest entry was, you can choose what his most detailed entry is, or you can choose maybe something that doesn't have notes at all on it. What do you think? I'll let you choose based on your roll.
That's a good question. Let's do his most recent entry.
Okay. I'm going to send this to you, and you can read it if you like. You can read it in any way you desire. There you
While
go.
she's reading that, I'll be like, does anyone want a snack, some water, or something to eat?
I want a drink. I was just gonna like flop down on the couch.
Are you talking about alcohol?
Yes.
Sure, I'll make you one. Does anyone else want something?
No thanks.
Idris, would you want some water, perhaps?
I would love some water, thank you.
Okay, Velu goes to like the kitchen area and starts preparing water and a good drink for Mimosa.
Easy enough. It's in the luxury of your home. You don't need to make any checks for that. Easily enough, drinks are provided. I will say, however, like the stock left in your apartment is actually rather like was made for 2 people. Mimosa coming into this room now twice now has basically almost emptied your entire weekly stock of things that you need to eat and drink. So not much rations is left behind
Why'd you
in
just
this
say
place.
me? I'm not that big.
I'm just saying you fed a big portion of people within this
You're
room
so
for
big,
the
you
last
take
2
up the
nights.
entire couch.
Velu hands the drinks over to Mimosa and Idris. There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alright, it says here, Sarcadium arrest, the antidote made by mixing a potion of vitality, elixir of health, and unicorn's blood. It says down here, acquiring unicorn's blood is something of a rarity in the material. Feywild or Grimwild traders rarely have ever come by shipments. Your penmanship is terrible, Laurent. And also according to Fey rule, it must be obtained by the natural death of a unicorn, of which the blood is distributed to Fey rule leaders to keep within their grasp. These are designated traders in this, including the House Thorn and Genesis, and high members of the Diamond Tithe and Oracle. Diamond Tithe. Idris
You-
pokes aggressively at that word.
Yeah, you've heard that word before. The last time you heard this was actually from Dread, who had mentioned that he pays like his dues to the Diamond Tide to keep his establishment. Yeah, you read this out loud. This must have been what he was talking about, because he did mention circadian arrest was what he found the cure for. So this must be the information that people want.
Seems a bit shady that, his book was stolen recently, and
Mhm.
the Diamond Tithe is here, an oracle. There's
You-
something suspicious.
You have
Don't
other
know what it
entries in
is.
here as well if you do want to read those too.
I'd love to read those.
Yeah, I'll give you the rest of this, and you can choose when to distribute that as you see fit, based
Well.
upon your role. You will have to, if you want to get the full like knowledge of this, like actual volume, that's gonna take months. Like that's like it's like learning how to do calculus. It's not. Your brother has written down footnotes here that you have written basically out. The rest of this is actual like, how much of each potion do you mix? What is the balance of magical arcane ability within a unicorn's blood? Like it's so scientific in its nature that you basically can only read what has been left in Leonin for you. The rest of it is actually just arcane. You become amazed at the thoughts of what goes on in your brother's head. Meanwhile, also wondering to yourself, the rest of this book must be filled with many different like testings that he's done. This seems like this is his actual like volume for like recorded successes and failures of tests. But yeah, you get a listing of a couple other things, which I will send to you, and you can read whenever you feel like. Yep, the rest of you hear the information.
These ingredients are almost impossible to obtain, yet they still want them all to themselves.
I would say that as well, in the mention of Fey Rule and Grimwild, most of you don't have information. Velu, you have some information on this, but however, your knowledge on this has fleeted in the past years, and I would say that you need a very like sizable history check to even like remember any of this.
Can I?
You can try.
No?
You can try.
Do I have any
Okay.
information on Faye?
Unfortunately, not Father Cruz. You're more divine in your practice, and also your family wasn't really attached to the practices like that. But it is a good question to think about.
18.
An 18. Fey Rule and Grimwild is the basics of how the Feywild works. You know that there is the Fey Rule and then the Grimwild, and there's a literal like divider between the two. Like basically think of like a wall of force. Is what's been described to you. And the Fey Rule is like the light side, the lawful light side of the Feywild, and then the Grimwild is the dark, chaotic side. You understand that a unicorn is on the light side of that, so they must be traded by Fey Rule. But when it mentions Grimwild traders, it means that they come in circulation of this information as well. So when it mentions the natural death of a unicorn, you know that Fey Rule has established many laws as far as like what's allowed and not allowed from the material realm in the realm. There's a lot of scrutiny on like people who travel between the places. And even on that topic, Father Cruz, I would say with that information kind of granted as well, the only real path that you have from like maybe your acquaintances in this nature is that you've only ever existed in Fey Rule. You've been in like chaotic planes before, but never necessarily like between each of the sides. You've only ever traveled to Fey Rule. Grimwild's like there's no like designated portals that even take you there. It's a travel through the Feywild to get there. But I would say maybe some of your past friends maybe have put you pretty close to the line. This is the information that you guys received. It's a lot. But Velu, you feel very confident in understanding what Feywild is. However, you're not very sure on like how serious this trade is. Like I feel like you weren't able to gleam off like, oh, that's really hard to do, or hey, this is an easy task. Like this is kind of wild water for you.
So, does the book say anything else? Idris?
It does. We've got 2 passages here: Fey Memory Loss and Curse of the Hunt. Which one would you like me to read?
The Hunt.
Curse of the Hunt.
The Hunt.
Curse of the Hunt. No known cures. Notes left for tracing on paths to Grimwald or dark crossings where more data can be found. Likely need to hire someone to investigate on my behalf. Grimwald locations: Lychoreum, Witherwood, Deprive, and Versad. Suspected dark crossings being Custlands, Bracken Forest, Dread Canyons, Castro Cavern, and Exric.
As these locations are read out, all of you guys make a history check. Um,
18.
Yes! 20.
20. Natural?
Dirty. Dirty
Oh,
20.
Dirty.
30, 20.
Okay. And Mimosa?
Guidance.
Hey,
You got guidance.
guide yourself,
Why
Mimosa.
did that work? I'm saying that just wrong.
Be guided.
Hey, 18.
20.
18. All right, for our 20s that rolled, some of these locations are the Grimwald locations for all of you. No clue. Like these are all like not within the material plane. Never even heard of these names for either Velu or Father Cruz who have familiarity with these 2 locations. However, for the Dark Crossings, there are rumors of these places. The Cursed Lands, Velu, you know of these. But they're not existent on this continent or on other continents. Bracken Forest, Father Cruz and Mimosa, you would be familiar with this on the west continent, basically right below Arlucia, and until you get into like Lupine Forest. And then you have the Dread Canyons, which is literally right next to the Lupine Forest and all of the northern villages. There are also Idris. In your role, one of the names Exric comes to your mind. On your dirty 20, you remember that that's where Carnelian's from. He's made mention of this to you before, but it's like you pulled this out of your like your hat. Like you were not supposed to remember this. This is something that's like you maybe remember this just based upon like a passing of like him saying he was familiar with something from this place, and then dropping a note to you that he may be from there. You're actually going on a hunch when you say that this is where he's from.
Ugh. Okay.
Yeah, with that dirty 20. But yeah, doesn't even have. So I'll also go in depth a little bit too, Idris. This page is probably the most blank and incomplete page you have. Like this is the page that has basically no information, but just says, "Hey, I need to go do more research on it."
It's like that. Okay.
As you are all kind of like take in the information and remember these places, it doesn't even describe to you like the symptoms of it yet. Like this is how blank the page is. You don't even know like what a symptom of this problem is. But Curse with the Hunt, none of you really like think about, but there is a religious aspect to that name that I think Father Cruz may know. I need you to make a religion check for me, Father Cruz.
Nat 20 for 24.
Wow. Yeah. Holy moly. I'm gonna open the lore document for this one.
Hooray!
You know that prior to the divide, when gods and the material were separated, basically, it's like maybe 400 cycles ago. There was a god named Kenogus, or Kenogus. They were the god of darkness and the hunt specifically. The hunt has been described as like dark entities of shadow that move through the darkest nights of Kenogus during the triple eclipse. As the curse of the hunt kind of rings to your name, you start to remember the reasons why all of you lock your doors for 3 days straight and not go outside. In the city of Oracle, that's not needed. Oracle has its own magical protections against things like that, but when you're living outside of a city, you know that for that triple eclipse, you don't go out, you don't put any lights on, nothing. It is a 3-day darkness. It's scary, terrifying, and a lot of people don't explain to you what it is. Father Cruz, with your natural 20, the reason why people lock their doors and hide is because there are rumors of light-devouring monsters that basically emerge from the darkest depths of the crossings that are described here. So with this list of locations that's been brought up to you now, you would get the sense that maybe these are like spawning points of some of these things. So you get a little bit of like goosebumps and kind of like remembering like the hunt and what that actually means. It also beckons you to turn over to your acquaintances and kind of unfortunately having to share that nervousness with just the expression on your face.
It's dark times. Literally.
I hate you. I'll say with that information, I'm actually going to switch over to Ymir to see what they're doing.
Ymir's just going down the street. He has a list of things or shops.
Okay. Where do you want to head up first?
I believe it was the Bizarro that had the Pearl of Power. One shop was mentioned of Pearl Power.
Mm-hmm. Then I've been the Arcane Armaments, but I'm gonna see who it was that was there for the time. This is the same place where you saw the Arcanium waitlist, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. You enter into the Arcanium Armaments outlet, AAO or whatever it is. It's a very expensive store and also still gaudy. As you kind of walk around, you haven't been noticed yet. I want you to make a stealth check for me, just straight off the bat.
Okay, as I'm making the stealth check, the moment I enter and I want Bongo to like slink into the darkness.
Yes, please.
Store.
Yeah. You can go ahead and roll.
I got a
stealth
nat
as well.
20.
Hell yeah. And then
Plus
roll for
2,
bongos as
22.
well.
Okay. 8 plus 13.
He is stealth.
21.
21. And you're nat 20. You are stealthy. Entering into the facility is not going to be like super easy, but you are able to glide behind like other people who walk in and out. Most of the stealth is for you to remain unnoticed from people who have recognized you from the guild hall. As you're kind of entering and sleuthing about into the outlet, you notice the outlet has a lot of new faces in it. There's a lot of people here who are not familiar. You see like very like nicely dressed, like you can only imagine like lords and ladies. Like they're very like pristine. They have like very patterned like clothing on and symbologies that represent different like animals across their like shoulders. Some of them wearing like lapels and different like vestments that would indicate like some type of like stature of like regality. There's a couple of those types of people in here as well, but you're kind of gliding off the backs of them, like basically backdooring through the front entrance, sleuthing around kind of around each of the individual and blending in with each of the patrons that walk in and out. You are one of the crowd, but also the most undetected amongst it. You do see the pearl power still on display. Everything's encased, typically, but the pearl power actually is out of its display, and it's currently being held by somebody. Looks like someone who's like maybe willing to purchase it, and it looks like there's a discussion going on between the two people while the person kind of holds it in their hand. You could wait for this discussion to end, or you could like interact with this if you desire.
Can I eavesdrop first before I do anything?
Yeah, you start listening into the conversation. So yeah, it was acquired to us approximately maybe 2 cycles ago. We had some adventurers come in, sell it for the gold value, and you know how it is with these adventurers. They never really seem to have a keen eye when they're not very magically practiced as such. But you seem to have an eye for it. And the person turns over. It's like, I've seen a few of these in my day. Honestly, I could do with another one in my vault. It's good display, good form. It seems to be in working condition, as you see like his eyes are kind of like peering onto it. But it might be out of my cost right now. I'll have to go make a few sendings, of course. Like there's a little chuckles between the two of them. Ymir, you're rolling your eyes. He puts the pearl power down in the display case. He's like, let's go have discussions on where we can acquire some of the funding for this. It's like the person nods like, absolutely, I'm happy to make business. And they both walk away, but the display case is left open.
I'll nod my head at Bongo to take it.
Bongo rushes over the stealth. He's easily undetected. However, I would like Bongo to make an Arcana check for me.
I don't think he has a plus in Arcana.
I don't believe so either. So he might just roll a d20 and then add his wisdom. Or no, his intelligence.
He has a -4 to intelligence, so that'd be 2.
2. Okay. Bongo rushes over to the podium stealthily, not making any noises. He kind of mimics you a little bit. You're not sure if it's like intentional or mocking to you in any way, but like he even like does like he stands up like a normal like person would, and like he kind of like walks over there and just kind of looks left and looks right. He like tucks around, does like a dodge roll to one side. He's being kind of gaudy, but he's still stealthy. He manages to climb up to the side of the podium, and he reaches his hand and grabs the pearl of power, holds in his hand, like immediately starts to bite on it.
No, don't do that.
Just comes over to you, rushes over, and hands the pearl power to you. He just kind of looks up at you with these eyes of like putting his fingers together, just like wondering if he can eat it.
Ymir will bag it, and he's gonna subtle spell alter self.
Mm-hmm.
And change his appearance completely to much longer hair, dark black hair, and his skin pale white.
Mm-hmm. You changed your appearance. This is not the first time Bongo's seen this happen, but he still gets that little bit of like that flare of his fur as you change to something else. But he sees the eyes and recognizes you and remains kind of like waiting for you.
And he'll start trying to head out of the shop.
Taking your steps away, you do bump into something familiar. As you go and you bump and you turn, you see that one elven person that you had met in Dasana before. You see that there's like a face of like some familiarity there. They kind of like you as you bump for a second. You look down and up at them. They look at you. They don't make notice of anything that you've taken, but they do like There's a familiarity in the eyes, and you like kind of stare at you for a second. They're going to make an insight check against you.
With like disadvantage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They just look at you. It's like, love your hair. And just kind of like turns and looks.
Oh, thank you.
It's
Have a good night.
you set
Hey?
out.
I don't know.
Yeah. You just got a weird like flirt from the last moment. There's a moment of like breath as you kind of step out. You've already pocketed the pearl power. As you kind of step across the barrier of the shop, you feel a sense of completion as what you have done is successful in your eyes. Bongo, who currently kind of like proceeds out with you. You guys are still remaining your stealth, but however, you do notice that it's not much of a crowd in the Ubito district as it was before. As people are now kind of scrummaging around, you're overhearing nearby the town criers who are calling some stuff out.
What are they saying?
Saying a couple things. If you listen to all of it, the first thing that they just kind of shout into the air, they shout, "Look, the engagement to the Delician bloodlines will mark the end of wars." That's the first thing I said. You've heard this before on like your first like session, but there's some new ones. Skyship strands Dock C temporarily out of service. Law enforcers yet to make remarks. And you're kind of walking through, trying to make your way around to like your next place of visit, overhearing the rest of these. Xenophane crime apprehended in Oracle. Visit the local auger hall to reclaim your lost items. Dread and Dead Tavern to close for business. New tavern under table masters to open next phase. Cloud9 Spa impacted during Skyship dock failure. Closed until further notice.
Is
Just
there
kinda
like
hearing
a alleyway I could slink into?
Sure. You kind of walk off towards I would say probably towards where the stage area is, and there's like a back alley towards the back of the stage, and you kind of duck in and you have a moment.
I will sit there and look at the pearl, and I'm gonna take a short rest while I'm there.
Okay. Yeah. You take a short rest. How long are you gonna rest? Like 30 minutes?
30 minutes.
Yeah. So 30-minute rest. Not too hard. The last things that you kind of like in your passing, your stealth fades from like the view here because of your short rest. But however, you kind of doing like that idle movement, looking at the pearl power. This is real. It's a real magical item. You can detect like the arcane powers within it. But in your inspection of it, I'll say you can also make an Arcana check for me.
Mm-hmm. 21.
21. You do see some runic symbology on here that is not of the Pearl of Power.
Am I able to break that rune, or would I need like remove?
You might need
dispel magic?
a dispel magic might work. Well, it would be the easiest way. You could also theoretically like trigger it, or whatever the triggering mechanism is. You're not sure what it is, but there is something of like a glyph that is set onto the item itself and waiting to be basically set off, and you don't know what the condition is for that.
Probably. Can I make like a basic intelligence check? Because my assumption would be making attunement to the item.
Your assumption, without even needing to roll for intelligence, you have a high enough understanding of magical items that doesn't rely on your intelligence. You actually instead hear inside your mind a whisper. Do you need some help, dear?
I could use some. I haven't heard you in a while.
Oh, you've been so busy. It's only been a day.
I know. I've made so many weird friends.
Ymir. You're getting fond of them, and you're not forgetting all about me.
I'm not forgetting. You were my first friend.
Oh, you're so
Well,
nice.
I mean, I've had a lot of friends, but you are.
But I'm
a
happy
great
to
friend.
help. This seems so easy.
What's going on with this? Do you know?
your your cover on your face, the eye patch, like kind of like the cloth, the whatever you want to call it, a sash, whatever it is. You feel kind of like the burning from underneath it as the flame kind of like builds inside of you. That ember, and you get advantage on a roll for this. You can make an advantage on a history check for me.
That's gonna be a 18.
18. Cinder speaks to you once more. Oh, Ymir, you're so silly. Don't you know when you take things, they belong to people, and they put those little things on them, those little marks of their magic, so they can track them. So if they lost this item, they'd track you down and hunt you like a wild dog.
Well, the
However,
problem is,
it's very simple to remove. And I can help you.
I would love your help.
You
Because I do
feel
not have
kind
the
of like
ability.
from the chest, you're feeling like this burn of like heat a little bit as you're in your rest. Kind of like flaring out. This kind of burning sensation. You're holding the pearl power, and you're watching like this kind of like magical flame coming from the chest, kind of eroding around the pearl. And for a moment, you kind of like feel the singeing of like your fingertips, and eventually the fade of like, that should do it. And you kind of look, and that symbol is gone. Cinder's looks back inside of your mind, speaking to you once more. Now you do know that you might need to help me out with some things in the future, isn't that right, Ymir?
Oh, of course. You know my whole entire agenda.
Oh,
Whatever you need, I'm here.
you're so
I mean, I
good
can't
to
go anywhere.
me.
And you're so good to me.
It's
Did
like,
you? Were you there when I got burned? It was so bad. It was
honestly,
terrible. I mean, I thought you enjoyed it, but I was like, oh,
it was an
hurt.
unfortunate circumstance, but I think you needed to feel that for the moment. There is something about it that, tasted so sweet in the time, but also something about it when you were falling from the flame. It reminded me of home.
Fair enough.
And
That
that was
doesn't mind too much.
unfortunate. And, you know, what you feel, I feel, which is kind of sadistic if you think so.
No. Everybody's a little bit crazy in their own way.
You know, you can talk to me whenever you want, my dear.
And my plan to, it's just, all these people. I haven't got much time to be alone to myself up until this moment, so I'm really happy that you called.
You know, you called me. You needed help, and I was just there to help you.
Aw,
I know you needed
you're so
me.
kind.
And just like, if you were to feel a hug, you would feel it kind of like wrap around you and like kind of enshroud you as you're resting. It's so comfortable, and it's warm, and like kind of it keeps you within a phase of like kind of like mind like elusiveness. And as the flame kind of flickers away, in your mind and from like the behind of your head, you remind yourself, remember, you still owe me. And just the fade of like that voice kind of whispers off into like flickers of like what would be like smoke in your mouth, and just
And I'll spend the rest of my time attuning to this and short resting.
absolutely. You attune to the pearl power. Let's go back over to the rest of the group. You have one last entry that you can read through, Idris, if you so desire.
So,
Oh no,
is there
you
any-
don't. Actually, you read through the main ones.
So is there anything else in the book, Idris?
Oh wait, no, there was one more, I think.
There's one more. It's the other one, the Fey Memory Loss. If you want me
Yes,
to
yes,
read
yes,
that
yes.
one.
Yes.
Sure thing.
You read these notes too, Idris, and these ones are more detailed as far as like these are just a couple pages long. But the notes that you're reading off right now are basically the footnotes from what your brother has written. You need some more time to maybe get more information from this, but what you're reading is like the footnotes of like each page.
Let's see here. So, Fey Memory Loss. 1 to 7 days. Remove curse spell. Level matching to the days spent with a curse. 7 to 10 days. Cleric / paladin healing such as cleansing touch or greater restorations. 10 plus days. Wish with a question mark.
And that's it.
Okay.
Your brother is quite peculiar. Spent so much time in the Feywild.
You know, he got this job with the university when I was really young, and he spent a lot of his time studying. I really think that everything that he's done has been all for this life's work of his. It's incredible, truly. I wish I was in touch with him sooner, but
You said university?
I don't
What
know
you-
which one. I don't know.
Oh,
I just know that he was employed, and that's where he got a free education with it, and here we are.
Lucky guy.
Your brother was a
Well,
savant.
he's quite impressive.
He's very smart. You know, he probably feels his neck burning by me talking about him so much, but he was so intelligent, even when we were younger. So I spent a lot of my time with him.
Mhm.
You remember feeling something else inside of your bag, Idris.
Oh. She sticks her hand back in her purse and feels around for that little leathery thing that you mentioned earlier.
You pull out another bag that wasn't there before.
By exception. She
You-
opens it.
You open the bag and there's nothing inside. It's fully voided. Like it looks like there's nothing at the bottom of the bag. It looks like endless abyss.
Curious. I wonder how this got in here. Does it
Uh,
look like anything I've seen before?
kind of familiar to a bag of holding?
I see.
But no idea what the contents are.
Can I stick my hand in it anyway to see?
I mean, you could stick your hand and just like try to randomly pull something out, or you can just turn it inside out and dump everything out. Like that.
Ooh,
Those are your
that's a-
options.
That sounds so comical. Let's do that.
Okay.
no.
Idris takes the bag and dumps it.
Like just full inside out's the bag. A couple things spill out. The first thing that spills out of the bag are like notes, like 6 individual like letters and notes that like spill out, just like falling out of like my paper. Just and then as the rest of the bag is turned inside out, there's just a plop of things that fall to the ground. It's just like different like items and materials and like a whole bunch of stuff. One of the notes kind of flies over, falling into your grasp, Idris. It has a note and it's addressed to you. It says, "A best effort and an apology for our short time together. Signed, Laurent." You also see that the note, you look down and each of these items is kind of tethered to a note itself. This letter that you have received, Idris, is tethered with a elven chain, which is an armor. So you can add elven chain to your inventory. Velu, a letter whisks over to you in your direction.
I grab it and I read it.
Says, "Curiously, I don't know what to get you. I've never got to share my insights, though." And the letter is tethered to the rest of the volumes in Laurent's novels. You have see on the ground volume 1, 2, and 4 of Laurent's books.
Belu sees this and he kind of like smiles and he kind of like does like a little dance. He grabs the books and he starts reading them.
Yeah, you can add 3 books to your inventory. It will take you some time to read. It's also in Leonin, so like you also can't read it immediately.
Damn it.
So you will need some help with that, but it is present for you. That's funny though.
You said
You open it,
2
close it
and 4?
immediately.
You
Volume
said
1,
2, and 4.
yeah, volume 1, 2, and 4.
Okay.
Volume 3, Idris still has. Mimosa, a letter.
I grab it suspiciously.
It says, "For that appetite of yours," signed Laurent. On the ground is a bunch of frozen meat that has fallen out of the bag of holding. You're also realizing that the bag itself is also tethered to this. This is not a bag of holding. This is a bag of colding.
Nice.
Not as much space as a bag of holding, but you can add a bag of colding to your inventory, Mimosa, and you can also add basically 80 pounds of frozen meat to you, because that was the rest of the weight that was available in the bag was just filled to the brim with frozen meat based upon.
I love it. I love it here.
Laurent has made some efforts to acquire you something you like. Father Cruz, a letter flies over to you.
He'll take it.
It reads out, "I may not believe your vision, but I trust you." Signed, Laurent. With that is paired a sword, a long sword. It is a moon-touched long sword. You can add that to your inventory. It as the blade itself is actually made of similar elven design, but the moon-touched portions of it, you can tell that there is certain like a vibrance to it. It's light. It holds very steadily within one arm, and it's also versatile to two. This is a very finely made sword, and you don't even know like most of the inscriptions through here. It's very nicely made.
What are the inscriptions written in?
Sylvan?
Man.
Yeah. The inscriptions are like upon the, not on the pommel, but like basically written onto the blade's like hilt, and also climbing up the bottom portion of the blade itself. But it is a very nicely made longsword. There are two other letters, but they aren't able to like visually go anywhere, so they kind of just rest on top of the items that are set aside. You guys can inspect these things if you like.
Let's inspect.
Yeah, nosy Christmas Day present looking. The first thing you look at is there's a herbalism kit on the ground with a couple of like a notepad next to it, along with a potion of healing, an antitoxin, and a potion of water breathing. This note has been left for Ymir. Ymir's note says, "For your next tests."
Aww.
And then the last thing you see is one note and one tiny shard on the ground, just one small, like purplish, like huge shard. And it says, "To fund your hobbies," for Carnelian.
You know, he really didn't have to do all this.
Your brother's quite giving.
It's his nature. He's always been very kind.
Yeah.
I hope he stays that way.
Yeah. You have like literally like thick frozen meat that kind of in your hand. You're wondering if you can like hold it up. Velu, that one worry you had before about food just completely erases as you see Mimosa like shoving everything back into the bag of colding. Like, it's honestly like there's like meat chunks, like pork chop cutlets, chicken, like steaks, like all different types of like protein, like frozen meats are just shoved into this bag of colding. You guys can add what you've been given into your inventories. They should already be available for you to take, except for the volumes value, which you'll have to take some time to investigate. If you want to investigate one of them with Idris now, you may. However, it kind of does derive from the time of you guys trying to get out of the city.
Willow's just gonna put it in his backpack and kind of look at Idris and say, "Next time we meet your brother, we should thank him. Very smart man and very kind."
He is. I'm actually kind of sad that we're leaving, but you know, that's the nature of it. And he says, "Run with the book." I say, "All right," and I don't ask any questions. I just go.
We could send him a letter.
Yeah, we could. I mm, might not be wise now, mostly because if someone is looking for us, and we are the last people to have this book, I just don't think that the people that he's working for, or working with, I should say, the council, would be too keen about knowing that the book survived.
You don't have to mention it. You could just say your farewells.
No, we'll wait till we're out of the city.
The nods of
Harder to-
like the group. I would say at this point, Velu, you grow this suspicion with all these items here. You always have been a curious person of trust. I would say you can make an insight check based upon all of these gifts that you've received to see if, like, you know, if you want to inspect any of them, or like maybe you're worried about like something like being against you guys in some way, like for that insightfulness. But you've always
Sure.
been a suspicious person.
I would
The
love
fact
to
that
do that.
Carnelian isn't here to do this already would be the reason why you're doing it.
22.
22. You don't see any ill intent. There's no like arcane runes or anything like that are like imbued within any of these weapons. A lot of these things are magical. But you do see spattered around the flooring with the insight. There's still something left in the bag.
Who has the bag?
Mimosa would right now.
Mimosa. You should look inside the bag. I think there's something left in there.
If you reach
More
for
meat?
if you reach for
It's
anything,
illusion.
if you're reaching for anything other than literally the frozen meat that you've been shoving in there, you feel something heavy and metal.
I'm gonna pull it out.
You pull it out. You pull out basically gold in your hand, and you just keep reaching in and pulling out more and more gold as you kind of like keep throwing it onto the ground, trying to empty out the bag of it.
The hell?
There's 600 gold that basically spills out from this bag.
Oh, it's our payment.
Oh,
Finders
600
keeper.
6 people.
I take
600 for 6 people.
I take 100.
Take
I'll take
100.
100.
I also take 100.
Mm-hmm. And you have 200 set aside for your two friends. We're gonna cut back over to one of your friends, actually. The one that happens to be schnoozing over behind the stage area. You do doze for a second because you still have those major injuries from the day. You have staunched the bleeding from where impaling of wood still remains, and that singeing of like burning sensation on your wrist kind of like helps you maintain that focus, and the pearl power and its attunement attunes to you in this time. And your eyes kind of like blink open for a second as you kind of come back to and kind of have forgotten like what you've been doing for a second. You can take as many of those dice for your hit points and roll that as you like, if you already have. And you can continue. You basically stand up from your space. You kind of look around. You don't see anybody who's been at your like vision, so you seem safe.
Where was the belt of dwarven kind located at?
That was on display over in somebody's shop. I'm gonna have to say you have to make an investigation for that. It's been you'll have to look around again. You didn't spend much time in that area.
20,
20?
30.
You'll have to look around a bit. You spend about maybe 20 minutes walking around. In your walking around, you're noticing that these other new strangers now coming through. Lots of like ornate, like fancy individuals. You do bump into White Leonin, who's like kind of leading a guard of knights around.
Still in my altered self.
You are in your altered self. Still, you bump into this Leonin, kind of looking at you. It's like, excuse me.
All good.
It's like you kind of like brush off of it. Very like nice plated mail and chain. Like they look like they have like some type of like shield like glyph on their arm. Like it's just fully like blue like hexagonal glyphs out like a circular thing. You see that they have like a sword kind of like sheathed. They have like their armament of people that's kind of walking behind them. This looks like to be a very important like knight or something like that. But they're like walking around making inspections and stuff. You walk past them over to this place. Oh, this was Oh yeah, that makes more sense. I didn't realize that. All right. You do see that it is currently on display in a store that's not necessarily selling anything. It actually is it's where the grappling hook was. Uh
And we never got the grappling hook,
No,
right?
Carnelian got the grappling hook.
Oh, okay.
So he's walked in there. No one else has walked in there. You guys were kind of staring from the outside just at the nice things that were there. Um, this was, oh, man, where's it go? The name of it. Oh, it was D's. No, it's not that. Where'd it go? Oh, script carvers. Yeah. Script carvers, like a stone chiseled sign sitting in a brick building, is in the Ubito district. There's a presentation of basically the belt of dwarven kind that's based on the back wall. It's emplated in like mithril, like glass, and it's just as a mural on the wall. Like it's built in. You can see like the really rough like screw like type of bolts holding it into the wall.
Is there any other items of note from just my eye that I could see in this store?
There's some pretty rare things. I will say most of the things that are in here are not magical. There are only really 4 magical things in here. That belt. You see that there are 2 rings on display in the front. You don't know what they are, but they are rings and they are magical, just based upon your passive arcana. And there's another thing that is currently not on display, but being worn by the person who is in the store. It looks like some type of amulet of some kind. But those are the only 4 magical things that you're seeing.
Oh.
Everything else, like the most expensive thing in here would be like a component pouch for like magic items.
I'll enter in my altered self, and as I enter in and make myself known, can Bongo make a stealth check and slink into the store?
Sure. Yeah, Bongo can do his own thing.
He got... What is that? Gosh. 18 plus 13 for stealth.
Yeah, he's
31.
He's this tiny boy. Just skitters around. He kind of crawls under some of the like desking areas and like boxes and starts like kind of shoving himself behind different like trinkets. You see that there's like a rack of costumes that are like over to the side, and he like kind of jumps into there and just kind of like furthers around. And as that movement shudders, in order to mask your friend, you look over and see someone who takes notice to you entering. It's like, well, hello, I haven't seen you before. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
What do you sell here?
Your voice immediately changing from the high to the low. It's perfect. You look at it's like, well, we have many different things here. You can get your materials for spell components from here. Ink for spells. Are you a magic user? You look elven in nature. You have passive spell touching. Well, then you're definitely going to need some of these things. And you look like she pulls out like a bunch of scroll paper, like inks and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, we have a fine parchment in stock here. This derives from the wood over in not the what's the name of the place that's down. It comes from a very ornate magical place over by the Suncrest Lake and also over by what's the name of the place? The province. I can't remember the name. The Dulissian province. Some of these magical pamphlets and such nature, you can use it for your spell carving. The ink itself, of course, is magical ink, so that way you do not have to worry about getting dirty on this. Are you interested in buying yourself maybe a scroll case to carry some scrolls with you along your way? Maybe perhaps some bells, costumes, components?
I was wondering about the rings up in display.
Oh, yeah. Points over at them. Oh, yeah. Over here.
And as he's explaining this, can I make an Arcana check on the amulet around his neck?
Yeah, definitely. This is a high Arcana check, by the way.
Okay. 18.
Might not be high enough. I have to roll. This is actually a roll for me. You said you had 18?
Mm-hmm.
You gleam a bit off of it. Not a lot. You know its nature, I believe, is what I can give you. You see the amulet. It's a divination-based amulet. You understand. Man, can I? Yeah. You understand the purposes of the amulet is not necessarily for like holding a spell, but what its main purpose is actually for like being targeted by things. So you can see that there's abjuration based magic that's also part of the divine in here. So something abjuration and divine based. You don't. This looks like an attuned item.
I see.
That's all you can really glean off of it with the high roll you made, and also just based upon the level of this item. It's maybe a little too far off.
Okay.
But the rings, walks over to them, starts speaking with you. Yes. So the ring over here is a ring of feather falling. Very common for those who are planning on going and jumping for like any venturing means, and we sometimes get these in by the book. But today I only have the one, and then also I have this additional one. This is a ring of warmth. This actually came from one of the travelers over from the north. But I have a pretty fair deals on these. 500 gold pieces for the feather falling ring, and then also 300 gold pieces for the ring of warmth.
Oh goodness, that's quite a lot of
I
money.
I believe it's a fair price, but if you deem necessary to barter with me, I'm more than willing to have a discussion on the price in the matter.
Could we possibly do 50 gold? Maybe.
I don't even want you to make. Hold on.
And while I'm like speaking to him, can Bongo steal the parchment paper, like the scroll paper?
Yeah, he immediately just gets up. You can make a sleight of hand check for me. For his sleight of hand, he has a pretty high roll for that.
Yeah, that's 13 plus 13.
Yeah. Bongo is very good at stealing and hiding. Like it's like his number one like attribute, and he jumps up onto there. The only thing he's not good at is being discreet sometimes. And you see him grabbing paper, and your eyes have to teeter off to him every once in a while as he's grabbing paper, and like he's like putting it like to the ground and setting it to the side, and then he crumbles one of the papers up and throws it behind him. He grabs the ink and kind of like licks the ink a little bit, like he's a.
Sorry, there's something in my throat.
It's just like kind of like takes it immediately, like grabs it into his hand, grabs the paper, jumps off the desk. Looks at you, is like, I don't think I could part with it. 50 gold. You'd be running me out of business. I would only be able to stoop so low as 400 for the ring of feather falling at the least.
Oh. Nah, see, man. What about that belt up there?
Oh, the belt? Oh no, that's if 50 gold is too much for this, you're not. There's no. Yeah.
Man.
It's passed down, one of a kind. It's a rare item, and I've come into it for many years now, and I have yet to find someone willing to part with their currency to take it. And I think it's at a very reasonable price given its rarity, and also the sake of the matter is I have a little partialness to it, and it has a little bit of history in my family, so.
Understandable.
But it is for sale if you're willing to not negotiate on it.
No, I don't got the money for that. I just thought I could start trying to become a well-renowned mage.
Have you tried checking out the arcane armaments outlet?
No.
Or maybe perhaps
but it's okay.
Dragonforge, or maybe the Mystic Hammer.
It's fine. I'm just broke. I'll figure something out.
You do seem new here. I would highly recommend going to Soul Food. It's a wonderful restaurant that's out there in the district. And then also, if you wanted to make way over to Table Masters, an excellent bar. There's some tavern folk there that may have some more additional maybe deals. I know that making connections here is more important than actually doing business. So.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's my best advice to you being new here.
I appreciate it. What's your name?
Oh, you can call me Demetra.
Ah, nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm just
My
kind of yeah.
my name is Flamir. So, yeah, Flamir Galavar.
Flamir
Hopefully, I'll
Galavar.
become a big name.
Galavar sounds familiar.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like. Is there any relation to Halavar, like the city?
He looks up. No, nah. Doesn't ring a
Flamir.
bell.
That seems. Flamir. It's like a.
Like,
Is that from the west? Is that from the
named,
east continent?
Nah. My parents named me after like a flaming cat that they found walking about.
Flaming cats. That sounds very
Yeah,
interesting.
it was really important to their history and why they fell in love with each other, and then that's why they named me Flamir.
Oh, like a sphinx.
Yeah.
The Phoenix Sphinx. The Phoenix Sphinx. Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly that. Well, I need to go.
Oh.
So it was nice. Honestly, love talking to you.
Demetri is like like leans over. It's like, oh, breath of fresh air, just to meet someone new and someone who has so much history to them. Everybody always comes in and just buys, and never talks.
Yeah. No, I love talking. I'm gonna go though. I'm gonna go. And
Are you sure there's nothing else I can provide? Do you like these scroll and like kind of looks over? Where did I just had these out?
You did have what happened?
Just looking around, it's like I don't know. It must have fallen to the ground. Like tucks under the table, like to look around. A means for escape for you.
Well, I hope you figured that out.
Yes.
Have a good one.
I'm actually familiar. You just dip out.
My spell is
Bongo.
almost
Bongo
up,
has
so then
crawled up onto your like illusory self and is hidden in your illusion, into where the hair would be. And Bongo is like holding papers and like ink in front of your face, like kind of around your neck, and just.
Don't get it on me, dickhead. And I'm gonna slink into like a corner or something, and my spell's probably gonna end by
Just
this time.
fades.
And I'll start heading back to where the others are.
Yeah, you can shove some magical ink and scrolls into your bag. You got about five parchments of unruined parchment paper for spell carving, and also some magical ink that has about 10 uses in it. You put it all to your bag inside, and you also kind of reminisce on like the things that are in the city that you once loved, and you look over to the right and you see cordoned off is the Cloud9 Spa on your return back. You see that there is a water weird currently like lifting up things and like basically using its water like from the lake to push debris out of the way from where the ship had crashed down. You see over nearby is actually the Dread and Dead Tavern to the spa in the distance. You see currently there's a sign on the front of it. It says foreclosure. And it gets a little somber.
Dread anywhere in that
You don't
area?
see Dread, but you do see Merrick, who is currently like walking into the backside of Dread and Dead Tavern.
Hey,
like the
Merrick.
back entrance. He doesn't acknowledge you.
Oh, well, fuck you too. And I'll walk off towards the apartment.
You walk off. You keep walking. A lot of things passing. A lot of events have been going on, and as your face kind of gets recognized once more, you see someone kind of walks up to you, and it's like, "Whew. I found you."
You found me?
You look at the appeal of a tiefling, who is currently like a red tiefling, kind of the horns drawn forward, tail flared out. It's like, I have a little sister. I have a little sister. You got her in trouble. Listen, I want to say sorry for her on her behalf. I didn't realize that you were a hero. And
No, it's okay.
no. That's completely disrespectful. She's like grounded for life. Like she can't do anything. But
You can unground her.
no.
fine.
She's a little dickhead. But it's not the point. The point is, I found you. Can I interest you in this? And it's like immediately pulls into his pouch, and he's like, "Look at this. and just holds open like his hand. You see, it's like there's a this gemstone in it, and it's like kind of glowing bright.
As I stare into this gemstone, I'm in my head. I'm gonna say, "Do you know anything about this? Does this ring
Oh no
any
no no no!
bells?"
I took this. I took this from one of the people who came in, like the new
No,
ones,
I'm
the
talking
idiots.
to Cinder.
Oh, Cinder. Oh, I thought you were talking to one of the people. He still shares this too, like outwards. It's like, yeah, I took this from one of the idiots. That was like the new people who showed up. They have no idea. This is like this is another hooligan, but of course, but like seems to be dealing with you because you're just about. Cinder kind of like returns in the eye, speaks again. It's like, that's curious. I don't see what you're seeing.
Okay. Can I roll like an Arcana check?
Yeah, please.
For this. Alright, that's just a 15.
A 15. You detect illusion magic in his hand.
Huh. How much do you want for it?
Oh, it's like I just wanted to, maybe give an opportunity for make a perception check.
13.
13, an invisible little shit's trying to reach into your bag again.
That's crazy. I'm going to cast color spray in the general vicinity, like it's a cone.
It's like immediately like you reach out your hand and making like a symbol like in the air of like a runic magical prowess. You see the kid like look up and go, oh shit. Just you send out color spray in the general direction. You see you could hear it, you can't see them, but it's just a
I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And Ymir's gonna start heading off.
You tried to get swindled again. You return back to your apartment area and you return back to your friends, and there is stuff all over the ground.
How are you guys doing? How's life?
I got 80 pounds of meat.
Welcome back.
Meat?
You've got some
Hi.
things here for you. Here.
Oh,
Idris hands him the letter and the like adjoining stuff.
not even reading the letter, sees the money on the table, and he's like, "Okay, is my share here? What are we
100.
doing?"
100,
cool.
yes.
He'll take that immediately.
Yeah, takes the 100.
And then he'll read the letter.
Yeah. Letter says for your next tests, and ordained with it is a herbalism kit, along with some magic potions and recipes for those potions. You get a potion of healing, antitoxin, and a potion of water breathing.
Water breathing. And a potion of healing. Okay.
Along with this, on like tabs of the healing of the potions you've been given, kind of not all of them potion. The antitoxin is not technically a potion. However, it is made of the herbalism kit. You know that you understand alchemy enough to understand that you can't make potions of healing with an alchemy set. You have to use an herbalism kit to do so. Like you look at it and you see for a potion of healing, he has like ingredients of what you need to acquire in order to make potions of healing, antitoxins, and water breathing potions. For the potion of healing, you see it says winter/dire wolf blood and spring waters. For antitoxin, it's boiled mimic skin. And then for the water breathing, it's a water elemental essence and sea elf silver. Like he basically just gives you these items and materials, which I'll send to you now. But it gives you the information you would need for basically making your own potions.
This was from your brother?
Yes, he. It was really funny. He basically packed us all little care packs. I thought it was so sweet, and our payment was there as well. So
He's quite the doll.
he is. He's always been so kind. Again, it's a shame that we're leaving. But
It sucks, but
You'll
I
see him
mean,
again.
yeah,
mm,
we do what we have to do. But
He's your brother.
someone tried to steal from me just now.
really? Did
Mhm.
you
Yes,
catch
they have.
them?
Oh yeah, I mean, a thief knows a thief, so. I was
Oh.
kind of hoping that they succeeded, but that they did not. It was really bad. They were trying to give me
How
like a
did they
gem
succeed?
because game knows game, and I respect it. Like, if they're gonna steal from me and they have the balls to steal from me, I hope they succeed in that, because when I tried to steal, I would hope that I succeed in my venture.
I don't
Would you
think
like
you should
some water?
encourage that.
I could use some water.
Okay. Velu, that's
Makes
the
water.
yes.
If you had crate water, that'd be a great opportunity. But there's
Gives him water.
yeah.
What was in the book? Any cool information pieces?
Relatively three interesting pieces. There were a couple that were really detailed, and then one was almost entirely completely blank. So, it seems he didn't, how you say, get most of the information for it.
Also, Idris, the rest of this is gibberish to you.
And to be honest with you, it's all kind of jargon. It's very wordy. He's very in depth with how he writes, but honestly, not only is his handwriting terrible, but he likes to talk in circles sometimes.
Well, I understand that. It's like it's as if he's speaking to you in a little bit of crazy. So you'd have to understand this craziness.
And you know what? I've been around it my entire life, and you would think that I'm used to it, but after the years apart, no.
Oh. You might just not be crazy enough then. I feel as though if I read it, I'd understand a little bit of it. But
Oh, please, by all means, it's in Leonin if you can suddenly learn the
no,
language.
unfortunately, I lack that ability.
And where were you off to this afternoon, Ymir?
Oh, I went to a nice little store,
Oh, uh-huh.
and there was this, and he shows the Pearl of Power, and it was really just shiny.
Oh.
I've had my eye on it for a bit.
Mm.
And you
Velu
paid
side
for it,
eyes.
right?
Anyways,
He said. I mean, he said. Did you pay for it? He's giving
No,
you
I
a
heard.
hard side eye.
I heard.
Did you?
And then I also got this scroll.
He did not.
No.
He did not.
What? It's pricey. These things are pricey.
How much was it?
What if that's how that man feeds his family?
I think they're fine. They talk as if they have so much money. So, Mimosa, I'm sorry. I was trying to get you this belt that I think you would have liked, but couldn't grab it. It seemed as though it was like
Rather
a
you paid for it, I would have taken it.
I
right now and
I
stole it.
asked how much it was, but honestly, I think it would have been way overpriced as well. So
I have a question.
what?
Are we leaving? Or are we
You're asking
sleeping?
me.
Are we sleeping for the night?
What?
Are we
I feel
leaving?
like shit. I think we should go to sleep.
Yeah, I
else?
don't want to travel the dark. I mean,
I'll have all of
And
you
Carnelian-
guys.
Yeah.
I'll actually have all
as
you
much
guys
as
go
I
ahead.
want to leave.
Yeah, go ahead and all of you
Bruce
make
will
a
show-
check for me. It's a. Oh man, it's an intelligence check for all of you.
Hooray! Guidance. Myself.
I got a 3 plus 2, so 5.
17.
18.
8.
Yeah, let's go.
That's what we're talking about, baby.
The smart one knows. The smart one
And
knows.
Father Cruz, what was your intelligence?
One moment.
With your guidance, of course.
10.
10. Most of you don't see a problem with going to rest at this time. For those of you who rolled higher than 15, the concern becomes how long does it take for information to spread in a city? And as the night grows, the only thing you could imagine is maybe waking up and potentially having more eyes into your story than maybe you want. So there is opportunity to leave earlier, maybe like to the next town or something like that. But then again, you also Ymir, you don't have a better reason to fall asleep than right now, given your injuries, and then all the rest of you also have been. It's been a night. You also have Carnelian, who's not around.
Oh, we need to meet them at the gate.
We do need to meet them at the gate. I feel as though my ribs caved in a little bit during the last 3 hours.
Okay, how about this? You can go to sleep, but we're leaving at the crack of dawn. How about that?
I can handle that.
Can Cruz go to the gate to get Carnelian?
You could. Or you
Oh,
could,
we should
or
leave a
yeah,
little
any of you
earlier.
could go,
Yeah.
really.
I feel like I should go fetch him.
I mean, I agree, Idris, but that one over there, I'm pointing at Ymir, is injured and he needs to rest.
We
Yeah,
could just
so-
grab him to my back. I'll carry him. He looks
I
light as a feather.
want to travel in the dark.
Wait, I'll show him most of my glowy sword.
Yeah, but if we're glowing, then everybody will be staring at us.
Don't you still have your
Very
little
true.
Idris waves a hand. The glowy, the stick of light, or
The lantern?
Yeah.
Wait,
Does
And
Cruz
what I'm saying is that we're running around in the middle of the night with lights or a sword sticking out like a sore thumb.
we can leave an hour before the crack of dawn. How about that?
where's the sun right now?
You guys are inside, but from what last,
I feel like there's windows.
I mean, we'll make that assumption, but outside it's dark. There's no sun in the sky right now.
Idris sighs, admitting defeat.
Cruz
Okay.
is going to go acquire Carnelian because he said he made him at the gate, today, and he'll bring him back.
I'm just gonna, don't mind me, and he's gonna like slink towards the couch and lay down.
It's hard
Go
not
sleep in
to.
your
You're
bed.
kind of like holding on to the things that were given to you from Laurent, like onto you. Like you're just kind of like holding them for a second, and you're like looking at some of the notes of like these ingredients, and you get that little smile of like that same type of font of like inventiveness and creativity. And you kind of look around. There's other people. You see that everybody's been ordained with something kind of nice on them, and this is a kind gesture, and you're not sure like. It kind of puts you to sleep in that thought of like, this has been nice.
Oh, I wasn't sleeping yet.
Oh, well, you're resting in that sense.
I'm gonna say, you don't mind if I like dated your brother Idris? Would that be like bad? Because he's like really nice, and nice people are sort of attractive in a way.
You'd want to date my brother. May I be honest with you?
Yeah,
He loves his work more than he's ever loved another person.
and that's fair, and I completely understand that. I
He's,
think in that regard we're like similar.
Yeah, he's married to his job, so, but, have at it, I suppose.
Nah, it was just a thought.
It'd be cool to have you as a brother-in-law.
Really? Oh my god, it'd be so awesome to have you as a sister-in-law.
And then we could be bestest of friends forever.
God,
Oh my
you're
god.
gonna make me blush.
Bella,
look.
Bella gets a tinge of jealousy, kind of like there's a tiny tinge.
I look over at the table because there was. Ymir's gonna look at
Mhm.
what. Since everybody has a gift, where's Carnelian's gift?
It's on the table. It looks like there's a note that's ordained with a small shard that's on the table.
I'm gonna be nosy.
Yeah.
Since it's already open.
Yeah, it's already open. It's available, dumped out. It says for your hobbies, the note, and then sign Laurent. And there's just a small, like purplish shard that's on the table.
Can I Arcana check it? The shard?
You can. I don't know if you'll be able to identify it, but I'll be able to glean you a little bit of information of it.
Okay.
This is
22.
unfamiliar to you, though. 22. You can tell that there's a spell imbued into the shard of some kind. It looks like it's a pre-programmed spell. However, you also look at it in the sense of like this is way too small to be able to cast a spell. So this is containing some type of magic of regards to like a silent spell. But you're not able to glean anything really more off of it. Only thing you can really sense is that this is not in like an attuned item. This is maybe like uncommon, maybe in its rarity, but it's You don't know what its use is for. It definitely can't cast a spell though.
Let's see. Okay. Um, if I'm the only one that's like shitty right now, we could totally just leave if you guys want. Because
I
like,
think traveling at day is better.
Mimosa doesn't like to travel at night anyway. I don't want to make him uncomfortable.
We
have
should
the light.
travel at dawn.
Okay.
Done. Done
I
it is.
am concerned about the time we're spending here, though.
Yeah, I don't want to be the reason why we like hold up. To be
I'm
clear,
just
like,
I'm just worried. I wish I could set out alone, but I know that you all would disagree with me.
yeah, given the sense that this book seems really important and now you have a target on your back, I don't think you can handle yourself on your own.
Excuse me, you don't think I
Like,
can handle myself? Hold on
okay,
now.
no,
I-
like as in, it's just you on your own, and the level of power it seems that these people have, that, well, at least the level of power that me and Mimosa had to battle with, seems like there's more people with that kind of thing, and I don't think you can take all of that on your own. So
No,
yeah, it would be better.
I mean, you're correct, but I don't know. I'm having a bad feeling. It's intuition, I suppose.
I'll follow your intuition. If you want to leave right now, we should totally leave right now.
Idris is gonna side eye Mimosa. She's gonna go, no. But against my better judgment, we leave an hour before dawn.
Okay,
Yes.
but to be like terribly clear, like I'm completely. I don't want to be the reason we're being held up. To be clear,
There
is
is
that
No,
okay?
you're not the
there's
reason.
animosity
No,
as Father
don't
Cruz. You're
worry
at the
about
door, ready to go get Carnelian, and like you're just waiting for like the the moment of like, are we going? Are we staying?
No, I'll be back. I'm just gonna go get him.
Yeah, you're just currently like waiting at the door, waiting for like the last word to hit for like the plan.
Okay.
it's decided we're staying here until an hour before dawn.
Got it.
Yes.
And Ymir will fall back into the couch and fall asleep.
Yeah, Father Cruz, you step out and go to find Carnelian, which I will just move straight over to you to go and find him. Father Cruz. The journey through Oracle is different. It feels already different in the night. But a lot of people haven't even awoken yet to even know what has happened like throughout the city in the middle of this night. But it is busy. The many followers that you probably have gathered over this time is somewhere up like beyond the 50s at this point, just from Oracle alone. You've handed out more than enough pamphlets to, figure it all out. But there is still a little bit of curiosity that lingers for the things that you originally may have came for in this city. You see them kind of as reminders as you walk past these robotic like automatons that kind of like steer over and around. And in walking to find Carnelian towards maybe the front gate area, you stand there and you wait. You don't see him yet, but you do stand there and wait for a moment and just kind of wait to see if maybe his arrival shows. As you're... Go ahead.
Are there like mailboxes? How does mail work in this town?
Mail is like basically all sending scrolls. So you just kind of see letters flying around, like sending scrolls flying through the air every once in a while. But also just mail in general. It's all by sending. It seems like sending has been a staple of the way that messages get across in this world. There is, however, the same person you met, Kevin Craggle, who was basically like a postman or like a news town crier who has the ability to send messages on behalf of others. So if you were looking for something like that.
Cruz, look for him while he's standing there for Carnelian.
Yeah, it's not hard. You can hear him. It's actually not really him more than it is his bot, Dent, that you hear kind of doing the town cries. You see he's currently like standing there. He's like handing out certain like pieces of paper and stuff. The same little area on the bottom of the letters that he kind of sends out personally always have that little symbol on it. And you've seen that a lot more people are paying attention to it even in that passing. And as you walk up to like where he's doing the crying, he kind of looks over at you. He's like, as I live and breathe, I put it there. And just kind of like puts a hand.
Cruz will shake his hand.
What can I do for you, my
And
father?
I need you to
It
send me
sounds
a
weird
letter.
coming out. A letter. Where to?
My brother.
Oh, quite tell. Yeah. Oh, it's like he pulls out a sending scroll parchment. What do you want sent?
Just letting him know I'm leaving.
I'm leaving. Anything else?
That I enjoyed seeing him again.
I enjoyed seeing you again. Signed, Father
Just sign it, Cruz.
Cruz. Folds it. You see, takes and send it on the house. Send it off.
Thanks, friend.
He kind of puts a hand out again to hold on to yours. It's like, what we're doing's good. I can tell that it's making people happy. That hope.
It's all I can wish for.
What the fuck happened up there? He points up to the skyward strands looking at you. It's like, I hear so many stories, and tell you what, if I could get an insider note from you right now, I can have an article out by tomorrow, and you would be the most notarized person in Oracle if it was up to me. What can I do?
Well, it was nothing crazy. There was a boat that we were on trying to figure out something out.
You see that he stops Dent for a second, and Dent turns. You see the eyes kind of glow and flash. Dent, get this down. Can I get an official statement from you, Father Cruz? Tell me, what was going on at the top of the skyship strands? What did your party do to prevent the horrible accident from occurring up there?
My party, I'm not sure what everybody was doing, but when the skyship was going down, I was trying to control it.
The people had rumors and saying that you were at the helm of the ship as the captain, but there are also other reports of a captain that went and abandoned the ship. They say that you had taken the helm in order to save everybody. Is that correct?
Well, yes, the captain had abandoned everybody. I couldn't let everybody just die.
And would you say that Volcom is the reason why that failure of that mission succeeded? Or do you think it was something more deep and sinister?
I'm not sure. I was there to save people, not figure out a mystery.
He nods. It's like, well, you were at the right place in the right time because a lot of people were saved. And you can see he takes a note. The flashing of the lights flash at you for Father Cruz. The eyes widen. It's like, yeah, get that sketch down. And you see that Dent currently is like shaking. And you see from the inside a minor illusion of your face kind of like approaches and creates a sketch of you and your face for a moment. It's like, Father Cruz. That's got to be a name. He kind of like whistles out, putting the note to his side. It's like, that's going to be in the criers tomorrow. It looks at you for a second.
Just going to frown. I did it because it's right.
Well, there
Not
ain't
for
no shame
the
in
story.
there ain't no shame in highlighting good deeds. And if they know that you're tethered to this calling of yours, then that's only the benefit for us in our cause.
I guess we can see it differently.
Do you not want to help people? I thought that was all this is about.
I do more than anything.
I think it helps to let them know. And that's what I do, is I let them know.
And then I trust your decision.
Nods, puts a cigar in his mouth, and just lights it. It's a late shift tonight. 2 minutes news. Did you hear about what was going on in the province?
What's happening in the province? While he's talking with him, he'd still look out for Carnelian.
Yeah, you're still looking around. He hasn't made presence yet, Carnelian. Go ahead and make a perception check for me. Your attention is being taken away a bit.
16.
16. You don't see Carnelian. You do see a group of automatons, though, and there's like someone walking in front of them all, and your eyes can't take over to it. You hear Kevin again. He's like, realistically, like, over there's this prince or whatever, and he's on a rogue mission, apparently, to go and just, take out these towns one by one and say he's saving them, like, protecting them, but he's actually taxing them. So a lot of people are, like, escaping over to here, to Oracle, And there was a thing about people coming here, taking ships to go over to Halavar. And there's a whole like conspiracy going on right now about how there are refugees in Oracle.
Hmm.
And you're kind of like looking over and you see like the group of these automaton sentries and stuff are being escorted by what looks to be a furbolg in the front of them.
Is it any of the furbolgs that I've ever seen?
Mm-hmm. It looks familiar.
Wait,
They are walking towards the Augur Hall right now.
Cruz won't pay them any mind.
Yeah. You look over back at Kevin and he's like, it's pretty crazy. I mean, I have maybe 5 or 6 reports now about people who are like remaining like silent over the fact that they have some belief system that wasn't appreciated by the Delicians. And there's like now Oracle's purging out the people because there's too many like refugees, I guess, and they can't afford to keep them all, or maybe they're staying in places they're not supposed to. Like, it's a wild place to be in right now, and all this is uncovering so fast.
Shipping out people, terrible.
I wouldn't imagine. I mean, some people think that the ship you were on was the ship, and you stopping them was good and bad. Some people don't agree with what y'all did. But I haven't announced any of those people because those are dumb reports. The reports for the good is more important than the reports for the bad.
Well, they're both same side or different sides of the same coin.
I wouldn't agree so much. Those people who are trying to spread panic are the ones trying to make benefit. That's how I always seen it. Every time. That's just my experience. I'm not going to share any of those undignified stories with anybody. Not my business. We spread positivity in Oracle.
Well, that's good.
He like nods at you. It's like, well, are you waiting for some? And as you were saying that, you see approaching you, Carnelian, who kind of just sees you and makes an entrance towards you.
Cruz will like pester Carnelian to come follow him so he can lead him back.
Carnelian nods. Doesn't say very much. Just kind of walks over with you and just walks. Doesn't say anything. You guys walk all the way back to the apartment. All of you together will take your rest. Unless there's anything before, go ahead.
Cruz will pray.
Of course. What is the prayer that you speak out?
He's just gonna talk about his day and how he's so lucky to help people. How he knows that they'll be saved. How he'll save them.
You just hold that thought to yourself and maintain this connection that you had before. A lot of you who are still awake or around do hear Father Cruz, who is like murmuring. I don't know if it's all in common, but it's at least a murmur of what would be reciting a prayer. But most of you've heard this before. This is sometimes daily. Go ahead.
I'll say in Celestial.
Celestial, yeah. Some enchanting like song of just angelic like words leave from Father Cruz's mouth. Ymir falls asleep even harder with these like soft like sleeping words almost.
I'm dreaming about Cruz's sexy body coming towards me as I am bleeding out on that ship.
The slow
and he
motion
rests
scene
his
like
hand
Baywatch.
on my body.
He's shirtless for
and
some reason.
Despair of dying me. And I didn't get to see it when he was like one-arming the fucking
You have a
ship and
vision of
keeping it
Father
up, but,
Cruz
like, the
completely
vision is
shirtless,
there.
holding you in his arms. He's like got cuts and stuff all over, bleeding, your sweat going down his face. The horns are like a lot more pointed than normal. The eyes are changing colors and looking at you and just in slow motion. It's like
Ymir's smiling in his sleep.
it's just all slow motion. Father Cruz, you're saying these celestial words. It passes calmly.
Come, my child.
Okay.
With your ending of your prayer, you fall asleep, I imagine. Or is there anything else you guys wish to do before you sleep?
make sure the light is on in the room I'm sleeping in. Which
Carnelian's still sleeping
Ymir
with
is.
you in the room, right?
Yeah, Carnelian gets to bed.
Okay.
I'm sleeping on the floor.
Carnelian enters the room with you, Mimosa, and he seems a bit distraught. He's not ready. It looks like he's holding something into himself, but he immediately goes to bed.
I'm just not gonna worry about it.
The rest of you kind of make your register and rests. If there's anything else, forever hold your peace.
Belu's gonna go to Ymir, pick
Hmm.
him up, and put him in his bed.
That dream of being held by Father Cruz, the reality of the matter is that Velu is actually the one picking you up, Ymir, and putting you into your bed, in his bed.
And then, he's gonna look outside his room, and be like, "Anyone need anything before I go to bed?"
No.
No. Okay.
Crew's already asleep.
Yeah. Everybody kind of
Well.
falls one by one.
Good
And
night.
with that, we're going to take our break. Got about 15-minute break coming up here for you guys. We'll say if you guys are cool with it, we can return back at 8:20 or 8:21, whatever your choice is. I think 8:20 is fine.
8:22 and a half.
8:22 and a half?
22.5 is so
Okay.
specific.
Specifically, 8:22 and a half is going to be our return. I will keep track. If I'm late, then the session's over and you guys win. So,
Yeah, 15 minutes before we're excused.
that's how it works in high schools, I think, now, right? On virtual calls, at the very least.
Yep, Mr. DM.
All right. With that, I'll see you guys soon. Feel free to mute yourselves and do what you desire.
What's there? Hold on.
Then we're ready.
And
We're there,
now.
guys.
Okay, we're here. We're back.
Yeah, we're back.
We're so back. We're so back.
Isn't that weird that we're back? How are we?
I'll be AFK for a little bit. I'm finishing food.
I got some off-brand Cheetos. Pretty good.
Happy with this 15-minute break. I get to go walk around my house and remind myself that I really like sitting down and play D&D. Are we dead? Is anybody not here? All right, roll call. We got Cat.
Maybe.
Get Potato.
Hi.
Allie.
Hey.
Nimbus. Dead. He just said he'll be AFK. Zap.
Cough. Sorry. Hi.
And we will remain with Dion unavailable, which is a wonk wonk moment.
Oh, bonk.
Official walk moment. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump back in. Morning arises, long rest hits. All of you can take a long rest. As the long rest effects take place, there is a couple of things to clarify. One, it's a little bit before dawn, as you guys have estimated. Velo, you would be the first one up.
Yay. Oh, I'm the first one up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead
There's
and
not here.
make people disappear.
Okay. I make Ymir disappear. Gone. He's dead. I'm just kidding.
Nice.
Velu's gonna get up, do his like morning duties, change, do all, etc. Whatever. We're gonna let Ymir sleep for a little bit.
Mhm.
Go into the living room. Whoever's in the living room. I don't know who's in the living room.
I believe that would be Idris and Father Cruz.
He's
Wakey,
Extremely
wakey.
loud.
Me.
Wakey, wakey. Get up.
Me.
It's time to go.
Could
Aw.
you not yell in my ear, please?
I wasn't. I'm.
I have
I'm
very
literally by my
sensitive
door.
hearing.
I'm by my door.
God.
I wasn't yelling. I wasn't. And then Valu proceeds to go to Ymir's room to wake up Mimosa and whatever the black cat's name
Carnelian?
is. Yep.
Carnelian's already
Wait.
awake. He's kind of like sitting at the edge of the bed a little bit, just kind of like putting like his boots on and everything like that. Mimosa dead ass asleep on the ground. Mimosa didn't have any like weird encounters or anything in your sleep. You slept pretty like heavily last night. However, you also like engaged like in combat yesterday and probably have taken the second most amount of damage out of the group here. So you also recovered a lot of hit points comparatively.
Wakey, wakey, Mimosa. Up.
He'll just slowly stand.
Valu walks back to his room. And there was a note that was given to me by Ymir, actually, that I kind of forgot.
Mhm.
I don't know what the fuck it says.
It was just a it was a note basically telling you where they were going and what was going on, but I think Ymir would have been able to describe the note in a way where it's like kind of like it's flirty note a little bit, but it was also kind of like a, you know, here's where we're going. He like basically knew you were off at work basically, and if you returned without that, the note would be there, and it's just like a see you later note.
Oh, okay.
Just something sweet. You've gathered all your like belongings at this point and ready to head out. Ymir's still kind of like dozing for the moment. You open the door, Velu, and like you can see Ymir's just full one hand off the bed, head slunken over. You see Bongo currently like curled up into like the nook where like his stomach would be, and just kind of like pulling into it a little bit. By the way, Idris, not much has happened with Hopian as far as like what's going on with their like interactions. They kind of just have been like either in here or just floating and flying around, unless you've like otherwise ordained them to. But in here, Hopian actually like kind of like tweets over to you a bit in the morning, kind of like landing kind of like on your chest area, kind of like just starts coming up to you like and kind of pinching on your nose.
Good morning, Hopian. And Idris is gonna pet him.
Yeah,
Pet
he
his
just
little head.
loofs.
Valu is gonna
Mimosa's
walk.
gonna pull out a
Oh.
pound and like a giant slab of steak and hold it over to Idris. Can you make breakfast?
Certainly. Do you want this just for you, or are you willing to share it with the group?
Oh yeah. The room.
The group? Sure, certainly.
I like how the
Idris picks
preceded the group portion of it.
Yeah.
Yes, for the group. Funny.
Valu's gonna walk over to Ymir. Wakey, wakey.
He'll open his eyes. Where is he right now?
You're laying kind of like one arm off the bed, head's a little like slouched over. You have Bongo's currently like in your stomach folds a little bit, kind of heating up just because on your position. You're laying directly like for pressure where your wound was, and you're just kind of leaning like halfway over the bed, just full sleep. You have taken your long rest, though.
He'll sit up and look at you. Is the door closed?
It actually has an arcane lock on it right now.
No. The door.
Oh, your door.
Like the room door?
Yeah, the room door's probably open.
No, I'm standing by the door. Open.
Close the door.
Okay. I close the door.
Why am I here?
What do you mean, why are you here?
I slept on the couch.
Yeah.
Why am I here?
Because they're new. I kind of don't like new people asleep in my room.
And Ymir's gonna like start getting up on the side of the bed. What does that have to do with me? Exactly.
Because I know you better.
Okay. But what does that? You didn't answer my question. What does that have to do with me? Why did you move me?
Oh, because if I moved you, then none of them had to move into my room and
Mm.
sleep.
Mm-hmm. Do you think you
Mhm.
could have asked me that before you moved me?
You were asleep.
Okay. Listen, all right. I'm gonna be frank with you because I understand what you mean by not knowing these people. I get it. But I also have a bit of an issue with you because this entire investigation, this entire time since we've met these people, you've kind of taken the back seat. And I've had sort of to do a bit of work, and you didn't do a lot. And when we got to the time of getting to that flying ship, and Carnelian asked who's going to go into the engine room and break it, was a long bit of silence until I had to go because you didn't want to. And you're more capable than I am with stuff like that because you're smart, you're a genius, and it kind of irked me because I fucked up really, really bad and I got the people really, really hurt because of my incompetence that I feel as though you could have avoided if you were there. But you don't take initiative and say things, but you'll take initiative and pick my body up without my consent and take me into your room. It just doesn't make any sense.
Interesting.
Really interesting.
Yeah, it is. I don't know how to respond to that.
Okay. And that's cool. I'm completely fine with that. But you see, I think we're going to be stuck together for longer than I realized because I thought once I got all the money that I needed, I could just fuck off and not be here. But now I think I'm stuck with you. And I don't know any of these people. That's true. I do know you barely. And I do know that you're not a normal person. So I don't understand why you keep slinking into the background like you're a fucking side character because I know what you're capable of. I've seen you in the dead of night do weird shit in your room. I don't know if you've noticed. I noticed. People don't just contort their body and grow 4 inches and 3 inches in length or whatever. Like, people don't normally do that in the dead of night. That's not what normal people do. So, can you start acting like you're weird and stop
Weird?
this normal shit?
Sure. We'll
Okay.
see.
That's cool. Ymir is gonna get up, and he's just gonna walk past Vilu.
The passing of two colleagues is emerged back into the living space with one another.
How thin are these walls
I mean,
in this building?
I think that the conversation was kept in private in a way where the conversation wouldn't have been loud enough for you guys to make like the acknowledgement that there was conversation happening. But if one of you wanted to eavesdrop, you can make a check for me for that now. All right. Otherwise, Ymir opens the door. Velu is standing there, kind of just taking in whatever conversation may have taken place. And Ymir, you are emerged to the smell of meats being cooked in the morning as you see Idris. If Idris had like a cooking gown on or something like that, it would be full like morning breakfast being cooked, sausages or some type of steak, an egg type of situation.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? Are you
I'm
feeling
doing.
better?
I feel much better. My bones are not
Good.
as bashed in. Do you need any help in the kitchen?
I would love some help, please.
Oh my gosh, let me come over there.
Velu, you see the rooms do have windows now canonically, thanks to Father Cruz. But you kind of like
What?
yeah, it's canon now. There are,
Oh my
there are
gosh.
windows, canon windows. The window at your front of your room has a tapping on it. You hear
There's a tapping.
yeah. You slowly look over to it. There's a flying sending scroll kind of tapping onto the window.
Oh, okay.
You can grab it if you wanted to and close the window again.
I open the window.
Mhm.
I look around, and then I grab it.
And you're looking around. Make a perception check.
Perception, don't fail me now. Dirty 20.
Again, those same group of individuals walking around, a white Leon and the group, and just kind of like walking and like kind of like meandering about in the middle of the night, and it gives you that nerving. You have this scroll that is sent to you. I'm going to message it to you,
Okay.
and you can choose whether or not we get to read it out loud or not. I put it in your notes, but you have a sending that is sent to you. So
It's
yeah.
a sending note or a
Mhm.
sending scroll?
It's a sending scroll, so it's like flying through the air. You grab it out of the air.
As soon as I am done reading it, I am going to use Volt and burn it.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my cantrip. I'm gonna burn the scroll.
Sparks leave the hand. This is the first note you received like this. You got the same one last year.
And then I'm just gonna start to pack up my stuff and grab my little katana from off the wall.
Walking back out, everybody's enjoying some food in the morning. Everybody's awakened, readied. Anybody wishes to do anything? Carnelian currently is like eating food and like kind of mulling over. Looks over at the rest of the group. He seems a little bit into himself a bit. He did a lot of work the last night, just as far as like investigation work, and you can see that's taken a toll because his eyes are a bit sunken in from like the blackened under his eyes, maybe like a lack of like actual sleep.
Here's to ask why he didn't sleep.
He like swallows his like, it's got a lot on my mind.
All
Not
night?
on, not on your mind.
Things didn't go very well at the Volcom. That's all I can
Really?
really say.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I can share more with you once we're out of town.
Cruz will pat his back and say, no need to worry.
He just nods and he's like, yeah. And just continues eating.
You
Oh,
think
it
when
just-
I run out of this meat, they'll send us more?
I don't think they'll know where we are.
It
Well, we
doesn't
can always-
magic do magic things and just figure out where you are anyways.
Mm-hmm.
He could, yes.
not wrong.
Given the
I guess you'll have to let them know.
Given the circumstances for your desired mode of transportation, you guys have options. So, if you wanted to, you could all take the plane hopper and get out of here. But you also could, travel by foot. You can get a cart. Like, you guys can do many different ways of travel. Father Cruz and Mimosa, you got here by foot, which is, quite a trek from where you guys come from. But that's part of your, missionary status. Everybody else, like, traveling miles and miles and miles by foot seems like a laborsome task. So, finding a mode of transportation would probably be the best, but you also could just, teleport around until you found a place you wanted to go. But it does cost a bit of money.
Teleporting, but it's the journey.
I feel as though with teleportation, anyways. Oh, sorry for interrupting, my beautiful
Oh,
darling
no.
person.
Oh, you continue. Thanks.
I feel like with teleporting, people could be able to track our whereabouts with that.
Hitting on that note, Ymir, we're gonna flash back to a moment for Ymir and Velu, actually. Just gonna teleport in time. Ymir and Velu, you both are walking together after one of your shifts. Ymir is being basically shown around, similar to the same way Ymir showed the friends around in Oracle Velu. You're walking around with Ymir, showing him the Uvito district for the first time, and you're pointing out like different shops, everything like that. But specifically, you poured out the plane hopper that's behind the stage, and Ymir, in immediate excitement, just rushes over, and Velu kind of holds out a hand and says, "Wait a second." And Ymir, you kind of rush off towards the plane hopper just to see what it looks like for the first time. You're like rushing up the steps, getting over to it, and there's a line of people. You kind of rush past the line, you see what's going on. You see people getting checked bags and stuff like that. Like they're like, it's almost like preparing for a flight almost, in the way that it's like kind of surreal in this area. And as you walk up to the front, you're noticing people putting down like certain gold allocation pieces down for the travel. You see the spinning of the codex on the floor and people just vanishing from the floor. You walk up and you kind of pass through this guy, and people like kind of push you up to the line, but one person at the front at the porter area kind of looks at you and says, can I help you?
Oh,
little one, yeah, you come here. He's like kind of rushes and puts over to you. It's like, look, if you're gonna rush past the line, you gotta be more sneaky than that.
Sorry.
It's fine. Are you trying to go somewhere?
Not really.
You just kind of like looking around. It's a lot. Like your eyes are like overtaken by like the amount of gold that's plated onto the floor of this codex. All the sigils and runic symbols that are all over the floor. The 5 different wizards that are like controlling it at the same time. It's a sight to behold. In the different indexes that are like kind of placed around, you hear people giving out numbers like 2200 or 1400, 111652. Like you're hearing like these number codes passed back and forth, and you're trying to figure it out. It's like, well, do you have a coordinates where you would like to travel to, or somewhere interesting to you?
And I'm in Oracle right now.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think I'm gonna be here for a little bit.
It's like, the nods is like, well, if you ever need a place you need to go to, give us the coordinates, we'll send you there. And then we're gonna just kind of flash away back to the rest of the group, where you're kind of just sitting there and you just have this like faint memory.
Yeah. I mean, teleportation is easier though. They just ask you the coordinates that you might need, and they'll send you straight there without much of a question. But I don't know what you guys are into.
I think we should do either the cart or the portal.
I think we
Whichever
should
one.
get a cart.
Art is nice because I can sit in the back and look pretty while someone else pushes it.
That's one way to look at it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I think it's a good
No, I think
goal of
we ought
yours.
to have him push it. Put some muscle on his bones.
Okay, but we're not going anywhere. Let's be real. If we do that, we're not going anywhere.
I mean, we'll go a few inches. Surely.
Centimeters, maybe? I'll roll up
You
my
might remember
sleeves.
yourself.
I'll roll up my sleeves
Anywhere.
and
You need to
flex.
have more faith in yourself.
I
Are we
don't.
doing
You can do a few
cart,
feet.
or are we doing the portal thing?
A cart.
Idris? Cart or
Mm,
portal?
Well, who's going to be pushing the cart?
We
Who
can
do you
get
think?
horses, maybe.
we're
Question
go-
mark?
If we're going to make Mimosa do it, I'm going to be really upset. With all of
Why?
Mimosa's not a horse.
you. Mimosa's not a horse.
We could get
I
a
mean,
horse.
The
Right?
horse is too expensive. I can. But okay, we can get a horse.
Okay, thank you. Can we get a horse, Jacob?
I don't know. You have to go look around. I mean, like, you haven't seen a stable in this town, period. Like, there's been no carts that run through the town. Like, this has been exclusively people walking around, teleporting around town. So seeing a cart is very, like, strange. There are people who do stands and stuff like that. Like, you guys remember, Velo, you remember, like, when you were acquiring the lantern with Mimosa, the dude basically, like, made a whole entire cart disappear into a suitcase. Like, you know, like, there's magic that exists in the world. You guys could find a cart that rides itself. Like, just a matter of looking. But I don't think you'll be able to find that somewhere in this city. You may have to walk out a bit from here and then find a cart and then deal with that. Might be a step-by-step process to travel faster. Just given about your experiences. I mean, even in the sake of Idris, your travel to here was via a cart. Like, you got dropped off out on the outside of Oracle. Like, your cart stopped and you had to walk the rest of the way.
Well, I mean, if we have to walk out of town to find it, I don't think that should be that much of an issue.
Nah, it shouldn't.
We should head out before the town wakes up.
Yeah, we should head out soon.
Let's go now.
Does everyone have everything? Do we
I
need
got
to?
all I need.
Okay.
With everybody gathering their things, Carnelian kind of stands up. He has all of his holstered weapons and everything he's ever needed. Like, always been a pack on his back. He kind of walks over to you, Idris, and it's like, on the road again.
Old times, huh?
Smiles for a second, just kind of like looks back around. It's like, and just kind of keeps walking forward.
Well, you know what they say, old habits die hard.
Yeah. Just keeps going. The entrance and walk outside of the city, it's a long walk. Walking past the blocked off area where the spa has debris and everything in the crystal lakes, the bridge broken completely. You guys see elemental, like, people that are, like, trying to fix the area, and just, you know, it's a little sad. The tavern for Dread and Dead is completely, like, turned off in the morning. It's never opened this early, but you're already seeing kind of like the blockade of, like, something like chairs that are in front of the door to prevent access, and it's a little sad for Ymir and Velu. As you're walking forward, the climb up to the skyship strands over to the Satoria Hills, Father Cruz and Idris, you both look over to the homes of where some of your relatives may live one last time. When most of the crowds of people are nowhere to be seen, as you're finally walking in an empty town borough, the central borough.
Just to make it clear, I do have my lamp and it's on.
Yeah, it's on.
It's lamping.
There's lights floating around you, igniting brightly within the lamp. It's empty. This is the earliest part of the day, and the people who are moving in here is the people who are setting up their businesses in the bazaar. The front gate's large, open, as always. And you all take your step out from the central bureau.
Man, I'm totally gonna miss this place. A little bit.
A little bit. This
Just a
isn't.
bit.
How long have you been here?
3 months. It was pretty. We didn't ever get to go to the spa either. But maybe one
Oh
day
my
we'll be
god, I
back.
forgot about that.
Yeah, it's closed down. I saw yesterday because
Oh.
of the stuff.
That's the worst news I've ever heard in my entire life.
No, I should have seen me. I almost teared to my eye.
You guys walk past a couple of houses that exist on the outside of the Kingdom of Oracle. Like, this Kingdom of Oracle is not the only place where people live. You could live outside the city, and there's houses that make, like, presence among here, like a small, like, roads by roads, and some houses that look like just normal places that have existed for so long. But even then, you see the influence of the Kingdom of Oracle in some of these places. The last thing that you kind of start to see as you know you're passing the threshold of the towns are like small, like what signs a little bit. Like people's like kind of small businesses that are kind of closing down because they can't really compete with what's inside the city. It's not sad more than it is just a tale of the time of something more profitable and something more exciting in the distance, as eventually the view of the city fades in your travel. A couple hours pass of walking. It's quite a travel. You guys go about 4 hours into just some walking alone. It was exciting the first hour. The other 3 hours kind of turn into a "are we there yet" scenario before you guys hit to your first town outside of Oracle immediately. These are just the Oracle outskirts. There's a couple of homes and small town stuff here. You guys can travel another 4 hours to get to another city, but you might be able to be lucky and find like a cart here that'll help you travel. This is where Idris, you'd be familiar with where your cart had stopped and left you before.
I think we should stop here.
We'll find some carts around here, thankfully.
It's now
Sounds
about
good.
now it's actual morning, by the way, because you guys left the crack of dawn. Now it's like sunrise and people are waking up, and you know you guys have gotten an early start.
Cruz is gonna go talk to people and ask around.
Yeah, just make a charisma check.
What is
Oh, can I come with
6.
you? Can I come with them?
Sure,
The more the merrier.
you can roll a charisma check as well.
Okay. 21.
21. That was high roll.
Yeah, 17 plus 4.
Nice. Need some help, Father Cruz. This is early for you, and like this is also unfamiliar territory. The country life has never been real like to your life directly. You've always been like a town person. This is like country farms and stuff like that. So people kind of aren't like immediate to your like calls out for like calm. But Ymir has a way of like kind of talking to the right people that you aren't familiar with. And Ymir immediately like kind of walks up to like a stranger who like is kind of posted outside of like a kind of like this wagon and like kind of like working on their own wagon. Ymir, you walk over. You guys have a conversation about where the wagon comes from, and like points over to the distance and sees like there's like a station for like carts and stuff like that, and you like nod. Father Cruz, you're like kind of one-to-oneing people, and people are kind of like waving off, like, "Sorry, I don't want to hear what you have to sell me." Like they don't want to hear like your sermon. Like you want to hear about our Lord and Savior. You're like, "No," and they're like walking away.
I'll pat Father Cruz on the shoulder, or we'll reach up to whatever I can reach. It's okay. I mean, this is kind of like my environment, and you're really good with your own environment, and we can help each other in that front.
Thanks, Ymir. That means a lot. You're really impressive with the way you can talk to people.
Don't make me blush. He's pointed off over to the to that way, with the wagon stuff.
You guys all follow. Easy enough. You guys find some wagons for sale and like some horses to take them. Kind of similar to a world where you may have existed previously. These wagons have horses and carts for sale. However, there are other means of transportation as well. They got something here called a pocket cart, which is also available. If you guys are not familiar with that. A pocket cart is that suitcase thing that you guys saw previously. They have these for sale as well, kind of like on the side, but if you want like the old like style like horses and wagon, you can get that as well. A pocket cart is an item, like a magical item. It's a suitcase that has the capacities of similar to a bag of holding. The space is within an extra dimensional space that holds the items in the case, and then when opened, it becomes a cart that travels with you. It's a pretty like remarkable feat, and a lot of like the people who are selling this like cart, like a lot of them are just kind of placed there and some of them have symbols on it that resolve to like travelers guilds and stuff. So you don't know what the situation is, but you do see that there are magical items here for new types of transportation. You also see that there's like other like means of travel. Like you guys could each individually get horses. You guys could maybe get onto like some type of like other transportation. Just a matter of conversation. You're striking up conversation outside of the cart area, and one of the first people to walk into your presence is an individual. I would have to say they're probably, which one of them? It's early. Yeah, you see a half elven like woman, like older. Like half elven and old is kind of like a oxymoron, but you can tell that they have the age to them. And they walk over to you all and say, "Morning."
Hello.
Good morning.
You guys are travelers here. You guys are looking to go into Oracle. They don't allow any of that in. Or are you guys trying to?
Oh, we're not going in.
We're actually heading away.
Oh, strange. Most people just teleport. We have some mares and horses that we can take. We also have the pocket cart, which is customary from Oracle. But you guys are more than welcome to rent these carts and return them to our other stations across the West Continent. I am just as part of the guild for the traveling across the West Continent, so the services alone are not that expensive for the normal carts because they are not magical, but the magical means are expected to be returned. So, and it's just a charge on arrival with the you charge now and then charge later. Like it's a 50-50 thing. So you pay half now and then you pay half when you get to the destination that you're seeking. I don't think they care about how far you go though. But don't kill our mares, please. It's hard to resurrect and find new ones.
How's the cost?
Cheap for the non-magical. If you're just looking for riding horses, like 2 riding horses in a cart, you get 100 gold for a rent, and you just pay the 50 now and then pay the 50 later when it's returned. Actually, if you pay the 100 up front now, there's a chance that you might be able to get a deposit back for it if you do return it within a 2 weeks time. I believe that's one of the general costs of just using normal animals. But if you're looking for magical transportation, it is a deposit. But 100 gold total for just 2 horses in a cart.
Chris will turn back. Do we want magical cart or do we want the horses?
So wait, how much was the magical card?
Naya looks over back to him. It's like, well, if you take this now and it's expected to be returned, you pay 50 now, and then you'll pay 50 when you return it. Basically to your destination. You're expected to deliver it to a destination when you buy this.
How much is it to own a cart? Like yourself?
Renting is a lot cheaper. Owning it, on the other hand, is 200 gold.
Can Cruz try to barter?
I mean, you have a conversation. I'll go ahead and just make a persuasion check in general.
Can I help?
I would have to say these would be individual ones for each of you.
Okay, I have a plus 11. It's fine.
Both of you have pretty good persuasions.
Nat 20 for 31.
Oh god.
The conversation falls short when she like looks at your religious garb, and you see that this half-elven individual kind of like resonates with that and says, "Well, if I knew you were on a mission, this would have been a lot easier of a conversation. Look, realistically, I would recommend you guys going for the horses and carts because we can just make new ones of those horses. The horses are very easy to generate now. But the actual magical items that you're receiving here, it's a ripoff because you don't get to keep any of the things you keep into the cart whenever you don't buy it. It's more recommended you buy the cart in total. I'll cut you a deal. I'll get it down to 100 gold. However, I do need you to register your name.
Cruz will
Sounds good.
It's a very nice deal.
The reason we register your name is so that way, in case of any failure or if anybody picks up the cart, we're able to identify who the owner is of it and return it back to them, because these are trackable items. I think that's just per the direction of the Travelers Guild.
We can all pay like 17-ish gold out of the 6 of us, and we can put it under Cruz's name.
Sounds good to me.
That's a good
Okay.
idea. Where do I sign?
Just oh man, this is gonna be interesting. As soon as you say where do you sign, I'm gonna delete some people from here. All of you guys feel the effects of a time stop occur. However, Cruz is the only one that is not affected by it. Father Cruz, as you say, where do you sign? Immediately, the Travelers Guild representative pops forward. In a nice, ordained blue suit, you see a fiend, a devil. Just from the magical flames around, just time stops. Everything's frozen except for you, this magical devil, and the half-elven woman. The half-elven woman doesn't look bothered at all. She just literally just stands there and just kind of looks over and just like, hello again. And the devil's like, well, pleasure to meet ya. Oh, let's see what's going on here. And just kind of looks over at the you. It's like, starts writing stuff down to the contract. You see a magical contract being written. All right, sign here and here. There's 2 signature spots.
Cruz is gonna read it.
Do you speak Infernal?
I do. No, I have Common. I have Celestial and Primordial.
Because there's some Celestial in here, so you'll be able to read like some of the translations of that. In Celestial, it's just a binding contract that you're going to be releasing your name to the bindman of the cart, and basically there's no way of like you taking it off of the cart whenever it's like basically sold. It is always yours and forever yours. It's like a slave contract almost to a cart, and it kind of makes you a little nervous. It's very strange, and like the devil puts like the glasses like kind of up on their nose, like, I think you'll see everything in there's standard issue.
There's parts that I can't read. If you could translate that for me.
Which part is the issue here? Is it the part where you are able to beckon your entire colon call to the cart in order to be able to use it, or is it the problem where the full name is residing onto the cart permanently underneath the spoke of the wheel on the right side? Which one?
Well, that all seems in common order then. Thank you.
Just flips it over. You sign. Sign the 2 spots. Your name is fully printed out on this thing in Infernal.
I actually don't put my full name. I'll just put Father. That's his name now. That is I feel like that's his legal first name now.
Legal first name. Even the devils don't know your full names. It's just Father. It's like it fills it out. I think pleasure doing business with you. It just disappears. Time stop finishes. All the rest of you return back to your positions of where you were. You guys never left. Everything just kind of stopped for a moment, and half of them was like, "Well, that was easy. 100 gold."
Cruz will hand out. He'll put 25.
Well, now
I
you've
put out 17.
the money time. Now I'll put up less than whatever.
All of you except for Father
I'll cover the
Cruz.
rest.
Every single one of you except for Father Cruz feels a little queasy in the stomach. That's it.
I put up 14 if bro's putting up 25.
I already put out 17.
You guys put out
I don't
as much as you
we're
need.
back to that.
You guys get a pocket cart. I'm assuming that everybody puts out what they do. Carnelian puts out 17.
The card is soul bonded to me
How
now.
much did you put in, Idris?
17.
17. Okay. And then there's 10 left.
Yep.
So you just have to pay 10.
I pay 10. Womp womp.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good job, Cruz.
Yeah. Everybody kind of like
Thank you.
finishes it up. You guys now have a pocket cart. I believe it's an item you can add to your inventory if you like. However, I will just go ahead and put the information for all of you guys to see within your own special group.
I have added it.
Mm-hmm. The pocket cart basically is a suitcase that you're just handed to. On the front of it, it has like infernal runes all over the front of the suitcase. It's a blackened like box, and then as you kind of hold it, it morphs into something more personally like attached to you, Father Cruz. What do you think Father Cruz's suitcase would look like? Like if it was like a designer bag, like what would it look like?
I feel like it would look like that old briefcase that your father used to take to work.
And that's what it morphs into. As you guys see Father Cruz's hand placed upon it, it morphs directly into a representation of the person who owns it.
Well, shall we get going?
Yeah.
Let's.
Yep. You can go ahead and as the case is open, you basically click open the case, open it, and you all see as it folds open, a cart reveals its place. And it's a 10 by 15 space that's just filled immediately. It has arcane force pushing it, allowing the cart to follow or carry creatures. So as long as you see a location within 30 feet, Father Cruz, you can designate it to go in that direction. But it does require you to see where it's going. So you kind of look forward, and as you all sit onto the cart, it pulls all of you at once while Father Cruz just basically maintains focus on the road. And you guys continue your travel. You guys have a long day of traveling ahead of you as you guys continue to keep on from this town to the next, I'm assuming, unless there's anything you want to stop here and get while you're still in this town.
No, I don't need anything.
I don't need anything either. Other than putting pamphlets in people's houses.
Flying out randomly from your bag of pamphlets, just another one. You just kind of send it out.
While we're in this cart, Ymir will ask Idris, so can you tell me more about what was in the book that I missed?
Oh shit! Do you want me to read the passages to you?
Yeah, I'll listen.
Okay, let's see here. She busts out the book again.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 3 passages to read from. Which one would you like to hear first? We have Circadian Arrest, Fey Memory Loss, or Curse of the Hunt.
Oh, these are very interesting names. I think Curse of the Hunt seems interesting.
It's the shortest one, I'm afraid. Alright, here we go.
Oh.
Curse of the Hunt. No known cures. Notes left for tracing on paths to Grimwild or dark crossings where more data can be found. Likely needs to hire someone to investigate on my behalf. Grimwild locations include Lokovin, Witherwood, Debrel, and Versad. And then the suspected dark crossings include Cursed Broken Forest, Dread Canyons, Castro Cavern, and Exric.
Carnelian
Firstlands.
looks up and just kind of looks over and says, just kind of looks at you, Idris, and just kind of like looks back.
Awkward eye contact.
Yeah, awkward.
Was that like a... So Cursed Lands, and then what else?
There's Cursed and then suspected dark crossings and Grimwild locations.
That's
So
it.
Cursed Broken Forest, Dread Canyons, and Castro Cavern, and Exric for the suspected dark crossings.
That is a bit confusing.
Now, there are 3 other books right now that Velu has that are also all in Leonin that need to be translated as well. But that's up to Velu if they're ready to start cracking into that. But right now, Father Cruz, you are currently guiding the cart on the road. Very odd to not have to like put reins on a horse or anything like that. You're kind of just sitting on the front, your arms are in front of you, and you're just staring at the road, and the cart kind of goes in the direction that you see within 30 feet, and it just continues in that direction until you look another direction. Requires not too much focus, but this is definitely like a you can't do this for more than 8 hours situation. You get tunnel vision and start getting tired.
Cruz will try to power through, but like lean his head back and ask, Idris, what do you plan on doing with the book?
What do I plan on doing with the book? That's a good question, really. I just know to leave town with it, so here we are. I would say maybe hide it with my parents, but I don't really want to go there.
Where do your parents live?
You never thought about it,
Idris
Idris.
Idris just shakes her head and she goes, I don't want to talk about it.
Oh,
God.
okay.
Never thought about it.
I hope my parents are okay.
Where are your parents?
They live in the desert. I kind of miss them. I haven't seen them in years. They might be dead. Who knows?
Oh, which desert?
The Makoti. It's just west of here, sort of.
Has Cruz ever been there?
You passed. Going into the Makoti Desert is a lot more taxing. You've made stops at places like Geta, and also made stops at Zephyra, which are two of the main like cities of Makoti. They're also on the outer like rim of them too. They're the easiest ones to get to. You'd be more close. It's closer to Halavar than it is to anything else. So you've made rounds nearby, but never really gone into the cities.
Yeah, they own like a restaurant, and I think my eldest siblings are helping them out, probably, hopefully. I don't know. That was kind of their gist and vibe.
Oh, that's nice.
But yeah, so what are we? That's a good question. What are we gonna do with this book? Like, what's the plan here?
Hold on to it until our brother needs it back.
And then we don't really know how long that's gonna be.
Well, I'm thinking because. Well, no, actually, I guess I'm holding on to it forever. I just don't want
Well-
it going into the wrong hands, especially since Vilu here has the other three. So that makes us carrying all 4 of his life's work, which
What
could
are-
be.
What are in the other 3 that made the third one the most valuable?
That's a good question. I haven't read them. Vilu.
Sorry, I'm back. Yeah, hi.
May I see those other 3 books of my brother's, please?
Which one?
Authoring.
Let's
All 3
do-
at the same time, or just one?
We'll just. Excuse me. We'll just do one for now.
I'll give you volume 4.
Sure. we'll
Actually,
do
no.
that.
I'll give you volume 1.
Thank you. Appreciate
I'm gonna
it.
give you all of them. Yeah, you get volume 1. I mean 4 or 2. I don't even remember what you said.
1.
One.
One.
Volume 1. This title reads Curses and Negotiations.
Curses and Negotiations.
Most of
third-
them in.
And
I'm going
third
to-
is titled Cures and Alchemical Testing. Okay.
The volume 1, I'm gonna read these out to you guys because I'm assuming, Idris, you're just kind of like during your travel, like speaking this out to everybody. I don't know if that's true or not, but
Yes, that's
okay.
that's good.
Just on the topics of what has been discovered, there are 2 familiar notes here from the same things you read from volume 3. For the Curse of the Hunt, this is what it says. As time progresses to the Canogis Eclipse, the West Continent is plagued with the hunt, magically dark nightmares of the night that devour light. These creatures have not yet been captured, but seem to spawn from the dark crossings. The Grimwild also seems to have a tether to this, given their knack for negative emotion, which seems to also play a part in their motivations to diminish light sources and maintain their forms. I believe these creatures were once people, but affected by the darkness of those crossings or the Grimwild, similar to Fey Memory Loss. I need more research to prove this. I have not yet found a cure. And in regards to Fey Memory Loss, a side effect of Fey Rest for all those non-native to the plane, a creature naturally resting within the plane has their wisdom tested. And by rate to their cognitive ability, they start to forget simple things first. As days progress, they forget more and more. If treated early, the symptoms can be remedied by curse-removing magic and potions. If untreated for over a week, greater feats of healing are required by clerics and paladins. After 10 days, it only stands to reason a wish can cure this disease. There is another passage in here, but it is hidden within the book. I'm going to say, Idris, you're going to need to make an investigation check.
Sir, yes, sir. 16.
16. There is a passage here that you kind of like flipping through. There's a lot of things here, but it's about relevancy. You do come across a passage, you read it out loud, it says, the Nova Night. And you can continue to read it if you so desire.
And
I
you're
would like
reading this out loud.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'd like to read more.
If you're reading out loud still. The blood of a Makoti child came across my desk on the first days as an alchemist. I was concerned on the acquisition. I was not able to decipher the clots within the cells of each drop. A combustion of cells destroyed my containers. In the information I learned on this event was that it was tied to jinnism, something about the elemental planar jinns and their magical tethers. If I was able to get a hold of a jinn or another magical entity from the elemental plane, I could maybe gather some information on how the children are affected. I'm still unsure of what this means. I'm more concerned that the council told me to remain silent on these tests.
Oh. Huh. It's really interesting. Your brother knows a lot of
He's
things.
been doing this for a long time. I wasn't kidding when I said he's married to his job. He takes a lot of this very seriously. We, studious mister. It's how it is, and it looks like there's a lot of things that he's researched, and I don't know. It's hard to wrap my head around it all.
This is
but
also
I'm
still
trying.
glances, Idris. You are only reading what you can make out to make sense. The volume itself is titled Curses and Negotiations. And as you read through it, the things that are listed here, it seems like your brother may have been specializing in this, with this being the first volume.
Okay.
You have other books, though.
Idris will shut the first volume, and then she'll stick a hand out to Vilu and be like,
Next.
"Second volume, please." Next.
Can I have the other book back, please?
Idris kind of looks at him and she goes, "Well, yeah, of course. It's just trading for the next one."
Okay, I'll give you volume 2.
Volume 2. Same thing. There's only one entry in here that's familiar to you, Idris. No investigations needed. This is actually a lot of what is mostly found within like the volumes of the book. It's all about circadian arrest, the same afflictment that your brother was like astoundingly the person that may have discovered, and that was his motivation for revealing it on the day that you found him.
Mm-hmm.
It says, the disease cannot be cured by magical means, and it comes from natural pine forests in the north of the West Continent. Sap from certain alpine forest trees has frostbite effect that can cause your eyes to freeze open. not allowing you to sleep until cured. The natural poison only affects humanoids that need sleep. Creatures that meditate, do not need sleep, or cannot be exhausted are unaffected by this disease, so it's not contagious. Creatures affected by this disease will not know until the first night whether they do not sleep. They describe a feeling as their eyes opening under cold water and being unable to shut them. As the first point of exhaustion starts to rapidly panic their body, all tasks seem to be harder to perform. After the second point, their body tires and is unable to heal. The third leads to paranoia and hallucinations. This is where the mania begins. And then fourth points to the person sickly and weak. The fifth point disables their ability to move at all. And then the sixth leads to death. So this is a disease that kills people within 6 days.
Interesting.
He reads, this is volume 2, by the way. So when you're reading these first paragraphs, it says the disease cannot be cured by magical means. Based upon volume 3, that's not true. You have a cure, literally listed in magical ways in volume 3.
What's this volume's title?
Poisons, Flowers, and Diseases. And this is like a majority of his entry through here. And there's other things in here as well. But you'll have to spend some time. This is just the one thing that looks familiar.
All right. Idris will close the second edition and stick her hand back out to Vilu. 4th place.
There you go.
Trades.
Mm-hmm.
All
this
right.
this one is not as interesting. This volume 4 is called Deathly Histories of Lychoreum. There are 2 entries in here, and I need you to make a history check and an investigation check.
Okay.
Because this is a astounding list of deaths.
Okay. History is 13. I'm sorry, you said investigation as well.
Mm-hmm. History's 13.
Oh, they're both 13.
Okay. Bad. Unlucky, literally.
Sad.
One name. I'm gonna say 2 names. Lady Dulissian died of circadian arrest is like kind of like the title or the heading. Circadian arrest is the same disease that Lord Dulissian's wife had been subject to. Upon oath to cure his wife's ailment, the acceptance of arcanium technology was granted to the city of Oracle, which led to his ultimate surpassing by the Council of Civility. And that's all it says. No information. It just says that Lady Dulissian was sick, needed the cure for circadian arrest, and then arcanium technology was invented.
Are there any like dates for when these were written, or
Mm-hmm.
is it just?
No, there's a pretty good timeline that it keeps through here for the portion for Lady Dulissian. Are you just looking for like a death date, or are you looking for an entry date from your brother?
Let's say both.
The entry date's like a couple years ago from your brother.
Okay.
Like this is like something that he's been kind of keeping tabs and
Following.
notes on. Yeah.
Got it.
But as far as like how long ago, Cycle 95. So this is like 300 years ago. So in
What I
cycle,
remember.
yes. Actually, around Cycle 95, Father Cruz, you were traveling the continent, and this is the first like time you stopped at Dryport and you met someone really important in your life.
Rose, you're like really old. And I don't mean that as like an insult. It's just like.
Also,
that's
by the
pretty
way,
cool.
Father Cruz, the king of Oracle at that time was also a furball, which is also very memorable to you.
You remember this?
There's a
You
grave
remember
illness
that.
and all that.
It was a long time ago. Remember some of it.
Hmm.
This is really one of the main entries. There is another one in here that's like more like recent, but it's like maybe 20 years ago.
Hmm.
Like this is like something more recent 20 years ago, and I'd have to say like this is maybe drawing close to where maybe the birth of Ymir. Like this, like how old this is.
Hmm.
And you can choose to read it if you desire.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Read it out loud. Lyle Murdoch, Fey Memory Loss. Returning from his last adventure with allies from days of old, he returned with an ailment that had insurged the revelation that Fey travel could cause memory loss. It was with this memory loss that his counterpart Dolores had come escort to him to his estate to take care of him. The cure for his memory loss is simply a remove curse spell. However, if left too long untreated, this loss can become permanent, which is what happened for Lyle. Studies show that his deep memory loss even made him forget most of his life prior to his adventuring party, almost demeaning to a childlike behavior. Some spells like Feeble Mind are comparable to this serious case, but Modify Memory is the best comparison to early stages when treated early. According to record, it takes days equivalent to your raw potential intelligence to reach a point where you are able to perform unable to perform basic tasks. So relevant to your intelligence scores, it's how many days you have until you can't do anything else. You eventually forget how to breathe at the end of this time. Lyle's case went on record for 20 days before his passing at his estate. Dolores could not find any remedies, only soothing techniques.
Ymir he squints at the book. I feel like I should tell you guys this because I have information, and if I keep information then it's wrong. But Dolores Murdoch is my mentor, and the estate that I believe that they are talking about is where we're going right now, within the kingdom of Halavar. So if she's like still like kicking, because she's pretty old, we could like chat with her, if you guys don't mind.
Okay.
I don't know what she knows.
Where's she at?
Somewhere in Halavar. I didn't really travel the kingdom when I was there. I mostly just stayed within the estate. But her estate's like super duper creepy, just so you guys know. Like, just so you guys know that before you don't get creeped out. It's really weird. But I enjoyed it.
It's fine. I think I'll be fine.
Okay, like you won't judge me because I lived there for like a good amount of my like 6 years.
Why would we judge you?
I don't know.
It's a little silent as the cart keeps moving forward.
We
That's
never judge you for that.
Those are the last entries you can really glean off these books. I will say, as you continue to hold this session per session, you can continue to read more into it. However, you're probably going to find more aid, like using these books as reference when you find something out in the world. So, for example, if you find a death, or if you find a poison, or some type of thing, you can go through these books and maybe reference the book as like an advantage on your roll, which would be easier to do than just, reading the whole entire book. So you would find more use in doing that case, just, what was it called? Like, for the game's purpose, it gives you advantage on those history checks whenever you're trying to figure out things about the topics within the books. So, you have all these knowledges. I'll go ahead and share this lore with you guys all, like, shared. But there's a little bit of a kind of stop to the cart as you guys kind of pull, like, ooh, like in Father Cruz, you have to avoid some other carts that are also like kind of moving towards your direction and coming your way. You're seeing kind of passing like people who are trying to go over to the Kingdom of Oracle. You see like families and different traders. You like have pamphlets that you can like try to hand out if you wanted to do so.
Always.
Kind of hand over one. You see like weird like symbology on one of the carts, and it looks familiar. This
How
is
familiar?
it looks like the Xenophane symbol.
Please won't give them a pamphlet.
Just holds it to themselves. The cart keeps moving. The rest of you inside of the cart don't see what's going on unless you guys are like walking beside it or anything like that. Everything's kind of contained within like the overhead of this cart where you guys are basically inside of it and covered by the daylight. The only person basically in sight is Father Cruz, unless one of you is sitting next to them.
I would say Mimosa would sit next to Cruz.
Yeah, you two share the front, and the travel is long. The days going into its point where it's starting to turn into like mid-afternoon, like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and this is probably getting to the point where Father Cruz, you won't be able to steer for much longer. And since you're the owner and operator of this cart, you probably will have to stop and find a place to make rest, not being near a town.
You know, Mimosa, this is a lot faster, but I think I still prefer walking.
Yeah. I like getting my cardio in.
We'll have to make sure to do some of that.
Mimosa, you look over to the right and you see something kind of like off the path into like the bushes. You can get off the cart and check it out. The cart's not moving fast enough for it to like run away from you. You're faster than the cart.
I'm gonna check something out. I think I saw something. You can keep on going. I'll be back.
Cruz will just nod.
You kind of rush
I was
over.
just gonna hop off the cart and go over.
You kind of dig your hands. There's like a lot of brush of like field and like leaves. You guys are traveling through. You guys, what's it called? Words. Yeah, you guys are traveling through the cedar paths, which is like all the like there's trees and like kind of a yellowed autumn feel here. Within some of like bushes and like looks to be caught tumbleweeds, there's like something here. You look and you find like there's a ball on the ground, Mimosa. Like it's like a handball. It has like leather wrapping and such like that, and it's like got like these red like lacings all over it, like to hold and grip on. And you see on the other, you see like there's two like leather gloves that are like kind of set next to it on the path.
I'm gonna pick up the ball, get a look over it, then look around to see if I could see an owner of said ball.
Nothing around. It's just you guys on the
I'm gonna
path
look
right
back
now.
at the cart, and then I'm gonna yell, Idris, think fast, and then I'm gonna immediately throw it.
Yeah, Idris. You throw it at Idris. Idris is blocked by like cloth in the cart, but you throw hard enough it might break a hole in it. Idris, can you make a perception check with disadvantage? Think fast. And can you roll to hit, Mimosa?
Yeah.
It's a dexterity.
What would that
roll.
be? Okay. Oh, I'm gonna miss. I know it.
Idris isn't here,
Uh-oh.
I
What?
believe.
Roll to hit.
13.
Does it even hit? That's the
I don't even
question.
know, bro.
Let's find out. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Does not hit. So it's a fun time whenever you throw a ball and it kind of just lands. All of you guys step and stand up abruptly in the back of the cart as you guys see that there's this leather ball with like red lacings kind of lands in the car as a hole is blown into the side of the cart, and it just lands and hits inside of the cart, just like kind of bounces around. The hole that's on the side of the cart mends itself.
You're gonna, for a split second before it mends itself, they'll just see Mimosa on the side calling out, "Look what I found!"
You're like holding two gloves.
What the heck?
Cruz will just look at the hole that mends itself in Mimosa and just sigh.
Yeah, the hole repairs itself on the suitcase, though. You do see, well, not suitcase, but the pocket cart, and you see that the rip kind of like seams itself back together with the mending.
I'm gonna walk over, hop in the car, and pick up the ball.
Yeah,
I found-
Mimosa weighs down the cart a bit, jumping into the back.
What? What were you aiming for?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't
I mean-
know.
She screamed your name before.
I
Your
wasn't even paying attention.
Yeah, so I said think fast.
I don't.
I said think quickly.
You were going to throw that at me
Yeah, you're supposed to catch it if you thought quickly enough.
You could have killed her.
through the
Don't look
claw.
at the ball.
Is that like a baseball? Wait, not a baseball.
It's
I wouldn't
rubber.
know what a baseball is.
It's kind. I mean, like, it's just a ball. It's just like it kind of like for the players. Yes, in the sake of this, it is kind of a baseball. It looks like someone had like put something to the side or maybe lost it on the side of the road.
You really think I could have killed somebody with a ball?
Yes, you're strong. I fought with
Have you ever used a sling before?
You know, when people like fake throwing the ball at somebody like a dodgeball.
Mhm.
Mimosa's gonna do that to Ymir.
Ymir doesn't flinch. Like, what are you trying to do here?
Well,
I don't know.
if you
Well,
wanted
so leave him
catch,
alone.
you should have just said so.
Are you
want
good at
to play
catch?
I could try. Do you want to hop out and play?
Mimosa's gonna like look outside to see the time of day real quick.
I mean, it's like 4 p.m. in like a relative like real time, so it's daylight still out. But Father Cruz is getting like you can see
Cruz
the
will
depth.
Stop the cart hearing that they want to play games.
Stops.
I think Father has decided. Yeah, let's throw a ball around. I'm bored.
Sure, let's play catch.
There's a scene that's going to be depicted right now of just like, you guys ever seen like an anime where it, like kind of side glyphs like the progression arc of like somebody like playing catch in the field until nighttime? You know, like that's what's happening right now. Like people are like kind of having this enjoyable moment. People like Mimosa bonding with Idris and passing. You see Father who's currently like standing there watching. You see Velu who's trying to gather wood, but like he accidentally finds like a bee's nest and runs away from the bee's nest. You know, like there's a whole like scene of just things that occur in your afternoon before eventually we rest at the time for nightfall. As the nightfall starts to approach, you guys have made an camp and arrangements. You guys kind of are all established with one another for the first time in an encampment outside of a city. Idris and Mimosa, go ahead and just make a athletics check, both of you.
Okay.
12.
What was yours, Mimosa?
It was I was finding it. 21.
21. You didn't break a sweat, Mimosa. This is actually kind of fun. Idris, you had to run around a lot to like because you couldn't catch the ball immediately, and you had to like go run over, pick it up, and throw it a very far distance. And your arm is so sore. You switched arms because you thought maybe it'd be easier, and it made it worse. So basically, both of your shoulders are just like throbbing from like having to pass the ball with Mimosa, who never got tired.
Mimosa's gonna walk up to her, ball in hand, smiling. Wanna go for another round?
You know, maybe we should kick it instead.
Kick it. I didn't even think about that.
Yes, we
Say-
could kick it
It's gonna
instead.
sound
Now you're a
wrong the
whole
other
body.
direction
It
to kick
doesn't.
to her.
It does not matter. Your body now is like a complete subject for just soreness.
She's just limping around.
Try
She's
using your
like,
try to be clever using your tail. Now your tail is sore. It's just not going well. It's
No, she's like slumped against it. She's like, yeah, why don't you throw it in the air and I'll watch you?
Oh, can I catch it or anything?
I'm kind of tired, unfortunately.
Oh, you could have just said something.
Father Cruz, you
Yeah, but
kind of walk up and you grab the ball from Idris and basically substitute out.
You want to play a game with your old man?
Oh, I'd love to.
And
Love to lose.
Oh, I'll know it's a challenge.
literally, Father Cruz is just like I think it's this moment, Ymir, you look over at Father Cruz, and you see Father Cruz kind of taking off like the feathered cloak that they usually wear, and you kind of see a little bit of the outline of like the strength that they possess underneath them. What is
Jesus Christ.
you have like Father Cruz is not a small like frail old man. Like this is a person that's like Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of like like built where he has like this like moment of filling out the long sleeve that he basically wears underneath himself, and he's throwing the ball with a mimosa.
Idris, come over here. We need to Google and gossip.
Oh,
We need to Google and gossip.
my legs hurt. Give me a second.
Take all the time you need, but oh my god, are you seeing what I have seen?
I'm attempting to see. I'm literally hobbling over to you.
Yeah.
Ymir was just kind of like sitting in the grass watching them like play ball while reading his book with Bongo, but now he's like full attention to the play of catch.
Yeah, Father Cruz and Mimosa playing a father-son game as intended. This is a beautiful moment. Cornelian's currently like kind of setting things up and kind of sits with you, Velu, and just kind of like mulls around with you.
Can Velu be reading, like,
Yeah.
Reading his language book? Well, the specific language that he's trying to learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm just learning some stuff, and I mean, you can make a
Trying to learn Sylvan right now.
Yeah, you're trying. I mean, you've been going through this book for a while. You have like bits and pieces that you pick up every once in a while, but you have to spend a little bit more time in order to like proficiently get yourself fully through Sylvan. So, it's gonna be a rough time. You imagine like kind of like the days, and then you see Carnelian who leans over, kind of like disacknowledges it for a second, not necessarily caring, and kind of just goes off and just starts collecting like firewood or something just to keep himself preoccupied. But yeah, a night kind of turns into a campfire scene where all of you guys kind of sit around a campfire for the first time, enjoying like some of your guys' discussion and stories. Is there any stories that come up?
During this time, Mimosa's still throwing the ball like up and down to himself.
Mm-hmm. You have the
Really
lamp.
like
You have
ball.
the lantern on still, so you can see it in the night.
Mhm. So, Velu, you've been awfully quiet. Find anything interesting?
Oh, no. I'm just practicing. Well, trying to learn new language.
So why is the book drawn your eye?
Huh?
I mean, this was Idris's brother's book. It's quite interesting, but what has it, what about it has captured you specifically?
Oh no, this
Oh.
is a different book that he's reading. So
No, I'm just asking this in general.
Oh, okay,
about
okay,
the
okay. Yeah,
books.
yeah.
Oh, the book?
Yeah.
Oh, I just knew someone who unfortunately passed away from it.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. I kind of want to know why, or also solve the cure. So I'm
That's-
interested in that.
Good goal to have.
So what made you get into religion?
Well, I met my wife, and
Do you have a wife?
You have a wife? Why didn't you tell me?
You
Oh
have
my
a
god.
wife?
oh
This-
no, she's
This
been gone
ruins
quite a long.
everything.
Calm
Oh
down.
no,
let him
she's been
speak.
gone quite a long time.
Oh,
She's dead?
sorry for your loss.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Condolences.
The immediate like, why didn't you tell me?
That was over 200 years ago.
Damn, you motherfucking old.
What the-
Oh.
Why would you say that?
I'm sorry.
Oh, he's quite right.
Yeah, I mean, but like you look great though, and my condolences for your wife. She was.
Oh no, it's fine. It was my religion's about rebirth, so it was take it as a happy event.
Mm. Okay. Do you believe that she rebirthed into something else or someone else?
She could be someone else. I could have met her already. She's on her own path now.
Your religion is quite beautiful.
Thank you. I think you're all beautiful in your own ways as well.
Oh my god.
So,
FYI,
So
Father
what led you
Cruz
to
has
religion?
not put their cloak back on. They are still kind of like they're in their
Oh
like
yes, my
nighttime.
sweaty arms are glistening by the
I'm really
fire.
I'm trying my best to like pay attention to the conversation. S- w- why, if I may ask, I don't want to pry. How did she pass?
Oh, it was quite a long time ago. She had just won out, saving people. She had sacrificed herself.
Good
To
way.
Honorable woman.
What?
what did she sacrifice herself to? Or
It was just, it was for the people. It was for the belief. She was helping people up until the end.
that's honorable.
I was quite confused on why she did it at first, but I learned that to trust her decision.
I think being able to choose how you die is one of the greatest gifts one can be given in this life. Because I'm sure she died doing a lot of good for a lot of people, and that's what makes her happy. I hope to
Carnelian
choose.
stands up and just walks off.
Huh.
It means a lot. Thank you, Ymir. Cruz is gonna go after Carnelian because maybe death makes him feel bad.
There's a moment where Cruz kind of stands up, walks over.
Are you okay?
Oop, back to them. Away from the
What?
group. Excuse me. You walk over
I don't know.
Carnelian, who kind of like stands there and just like it's not my vibe.
I understand that death can be hard. I'm sorry about that.
I think I'm just ready for bed. And I was just gonna take a leak.
It's good too.
Mm-hmm. But you good? Everything fine with you?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Take your time.
Yeah.
Join us when you're ready.
Yeah. Yep. And Father Cruz, you kind of like leave him to his business. He makes a good out for himself, but there's just something deeper there.
So, Ymir, Bellu, how'd you meet?
I don't know. I came to the city. He was in the city, and I went to work the same place that he worked. It's not much of a crazy origin
How'd you guys
story.
become roommates?
I'll look
Great
over at
question.
you.
So, he came to me like a desperate little boy. No, I'm kidding. I just, he asked, I think, if I remember correctly, that he needed a place to stay. So, kind of like offered my apartment because there was a room vacant, and the other two people in my apartment,
Very
I don't
elusive.
talk to them.
Oh, Bellu, it's very kind of you.
I don't talk to them as much. So,
You look like the most interesting person at where we worked, so I just felt like asking him. And
I mean, he certainly makes the best drinks.
it is true. And my days have not been boring since, so quite nice.
I don't know you, Bellu, but I think you'll become a fun person to know.
yes.
We had little pauses, and you guys starting to hear like the crickets and the chirping of like a nighttime call. The fire like crackles, and you guys all stay kind of beside it. It's it's awkward for a moment because a lot of you kind of like are on your first impression still, but there's already so much resonation of connection between each of you that it's hard to deny that there's something like about each one of you that resonates with one another. But the night does grow, and each of you start to feel that toll of the day, of all of the travel you've done so far, as you guys have now loomed away from the Kingdom of Oracle and now head to a direction towards somewhere. I'm assuming Halavar.
Mhm.
So,
Yes.
with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end the session.
Oh,
That's-
I'm
no.
gonna go to bed and I'm gonna sleep for so long.
You're gonna go to bed just like at the session, dude. You're role playing in real life.
Oh my gosh, I'm Mimosa, guys.
You are
You're
Mimosa.
him. You're him for real.
I am him for real.
Oh my god.
We stop now
Go
because
drink!
there are still scenes to be
I have a
had.
tiny little bottle of what is it? Western Sun right next to me.
Dude, oh my god, you should drink it. Come an
No,
alcoholic.
I have no chasers, bro.
Mimosa doesn't need such a thing.
He really doesn't.
I'm stopping the stream. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.